If you've ever mixed baking soda and vinegar together, or Diet Coke and Mentos just for fun, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. TGIF, welcome. Happy Friday. Hope you all are doing well. We've got a market that dipped on some global macro news and is rallying pretty strong, but will it last? That is the question. We'll find some stuff to trade today. 13's here. We got Anne Marie after. Let's get it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Live Trading. It is great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Happy Friday. Lots of engagement in the chat already. EKS, Jonathan, Smoke Tuna, Brad's dad, STFU, Sahara, Travis, Jonathan, Richard, Alyssa. Let's get it rolling, folks. Good to see you. Let's bring on my main man, 13. 13, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's looking like the market got into my black book because here's all these old girlfriends showing up again. We have a bunch of these movers this morning to talk about, so we'll get into that. But yeah, other than that, it's been a pretty okay morning. I can't complain.
Okay, good deal. So we'll go ahead and just dive right into it. Let's, of course, start with the SPY like we always do. So we had news that Israel retaliated against Iran. You could see that this morning the SPY futures really kind of dipped a little bit in the morning, but that did not last. We've been pretty much bought back up here. Worth noting here, we did trade down to about 496. I guess this opening candle took us down to about 495. I actually have more of like a down move on my chart in my broker from last night. But the key point here is we're bought right back up, and it looks like we're kind of button up against this 500 level that we've kind of been talking about recently. So we ended up breaking that yesterday on an attempted defense the last 2 days. Now, my objective today is this resistance, or do we actually break out above this and keep going? So you got any levels on the SPY that you're looking at?
Well, one of the interesting things about this morning is that we did get down to that 5% pullback level that I have at 498.38. I do want to see in the regular session the gap to the fill to the downside. That I have that gap filling at. Give me a second here. I'll give you the figures. It's 497.37 is where the gap fills that we were headed towards earlier this week. We filled that in the pre-market. I want to see a regular session fill first, and then I'd like to see it come back up and try to recapture 500. As far as the price action today goes, it could be a lot of back and forth. I see the case for upside. I see the case for downside. It might just be that we trade up and down like we have been a lot this week, just back and forth, like we had between 500 and 503 earlier, like yesterday, most of the day. We might trade up to 500, try to get over that, but fail and trade down to a lower level, maybe that 5% level I was just talking about. So I expect there to be a lot of consolidation, a lot of back and forth.
Okay. And we will definitely look for that. I'll tell you what, if we get some of that chop, if we get some of that consolidation and back and forth, the ETFs might be the play again here today. We did all right with those yesterday. Definitely be taking a look at those here today. So, okay, go ahead and take a look at some of these smaller movers. Then we can jump back and take a look at what the chat wants to take a look at. Prepare here for today. Now, you were saying that looks like we're gonna have some more ex-girlfriends here. Yeah. I'm just gonna start at the top of the list and kind of roll down here. First one here we have is ZCMD. This is Zong Chao. Obviously, this is a Chinese name. This thing gapped up as high as 350. It's come back in. It's really kind of sitting around the VWAP here. You got anything on this one? This to me feels like an avoid.
Yeah, I'm not going to really be interested in this one. This has no news. We've seen this one before recently. I think in the past couple of weeks. Has a 1.7 million float, so easy to push around. That's probably why it's up this morning. They did a reverse split on February 29th because, yes, there was 29 days of February this year. But other than that, I don't have any other indication as to why it's moving other than it's just one of these junky names that just gets pushed around really easily.
Yeah, so it really kind of feels like just technical trading here on this one if you opt to go for that. So I'm with you on that one. Next, we have Arwood here. This is Redwood's acquisition and quite a pre-market for this stock already. Redwood's acquisition shares are trading higher after the company announced that shareholders approved its merger agreement with Anu Medical. Now, the interesting thing about this is that on that first move, we traded up to about 20.66. We backed off to about 17, and then we had a huge move up to about 30. We've actually retraced a ton of that move. We're back down here at 12.90, so we're actually still up almost 5 points from yesterday's close. But kind of wild action here this morning, and not typical with what we see with some of these mergers, right? Sometimes we just see them kind of go towards the price and stay there. What's going on with this one, 13?
This is a special acquisition company that's merging with, you said it, they're merging with another company. Now, what can happen here is that this move that we saw in the after hours, I think that's after hours, right?
This is market right here, the gold shade.
Okay. So anyway, that move prior to today's open, that's, I think, could be the big move for today. Now, I'll just also hedge that by saying this can do whatever it wants. It could just get completely bought up by a bunch of people trying to push this around. But this is a SPAC, and what's going to happen next with these is usually they go through a de-SPACing process, and that means the price is just going to slowly end up moving down until it becomes next to nothing. It's going to go probably down to around a few bucks, maybe even under $1. That's just how these special acquisition companies usually end up playing out.
And to be clear, that process takes a while, right? It's not as if it just does it in a day. So what 13 is saying here is likely to play out over months. Exactly, 13. Smoke Tuna here wondering, is Arwood the next Rent?
It could be.
Yeah,
or it might not.
Yeah, well, to kind of go back to your point about it can do whatever it wants. I know that's something that's really kind of generated from the happy hour discussions that we've had when stocks would make kind of just crazy moves. I think you're absolutely right on that. I mean, first of all, we've already seen huge volatility here today. I think it could easily remain volatile here, but I agree with you. I think that de-SPACing process is going to happen before this is any type of actual hold.
Yeah, and that's usually when you see a lot of redemptions go out to the initial investors, and so they'll end up offloading their shares. So yes, it can be very painful. It's a lot of selling usually occurs in the de-SPACing process.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys have price points down in 20, 30, 40 cents. Stocks up here at $12. So yeah, good stuff there on Arwood. We'll see. Still looking for some really decent plays that we feel good about. I don't feel great about that one. Next one here is going to be AGBA, and we really didn't even have to wait a whole lot for this one to come back. We talked about this one yesterday, and here we are talking about it again here today. So did have that move out of the open. It really kind of dipped, and then it used the VWAP as resistance. Really couldn't break above it. Now this morning we're trading up here on volume. We're actually over that 133 level that we broke out from yesterday. That was the level that we were kind of watching in the pre-market that we ended up snapping in the regular session. You can see here we've actually broken it once, retested the VWAP, and now broken it again. So maybe we get a similar type of move here. AGBA again though on this one, this very, very junky name, and we're talking about this just for a potential day trade here. We're not talking about anything else other than that on AGBA. You got anything else on this one?
Yeah, I don't think it's as junky as some of these other names because what they're doing right now is they're going through a merger with Triller, and that's going to create a $4 billion merger, which is worth more than what the AGB is on its own. This is moving on relative volume from yesterday, as you were pointing out. Yeah. I would be careful with this one. We might see a good pop out of the open, but we also could end up seeing the same price action we had yesterday. Just a nice move out of the open, and then we just all the rest of the day, it's just lower and lower. So just be careful with this one. This has an 18 million share float, so should have a little bit better price action. It won't be as spready and volatile, a little less volatile actually. But that's a story with AGBA. Should be a good trade out of the open, but just be careful.
I like this. FCFU, here for a good time, not a long time. That might be a shirt for some of these micro caps that pop and drop seemingly all the time. So, all right. There we go. Next here on the list is going to be Hub C. It looks like Kalu's all over Hub C here. We've been talking about this one recently, a cybersecurity company. This actually did pop as high as 190. You can see it's really kind of been bleeding its gains the rest of the pre-market here. Now we're still up just under 15% on Hub C, looking like it's really kind of trying to hold around this 150 level. If we take a look at the news here, we actually do have a PR from this morning. Hub Cybersecurity strongly responds to Dominion's misleading lawsuit, reaffirms a dedication to expansion and worldwide customer support. So I don't know how great that PR actually is. Market likes it here, stack up almost 15%. For me, the big thing here is, like on a lot of these names, let's see what it does at VWAP. Does it continue to use VWAP as resistance? Is it able to get above it? Is it able to build and maybe consolidate and then give us a setup so we can actually trade the move? That's what I'll be watching for here on HubC.
One of the things that's interesting about the response to that Dominion lawsuit, we've seen what happens when CEOs or companies don't respond to allegations such as this, and INOD is a perfect example.
Yeah.
So I think that this move that we're seeing is it's warranted. They said no, this is wrong, and they're basically standing up for their company, and the shareholders are like, okay, we're on board with you, and so they bought up a bit. Now I don't think there's a whole lot of steam in this to keep it moving. This depends on how the market wants to trade this. It's got an 8.7 million share float, and so that makes it relatively easy to move around a bit, but. At the same time, I don't think the news is as strong as some of these other movers are, but should still provide some trading today.
Okay, there you go on HubC. Now, next is DJT, and I know a lot of people or a lot of the chat is already looking at this one. We had a huge move yesterday, just a really, really big reversal right off this 24 level. Here we are at 37, so 13 points higher here. Now, this is running into the open, so we'll see if this actually pulls back. I think if it does pull back here, reasonable first bounce spot here in a 33 handle. So really pretty much anywhere in that area. We'll see if we end up getting that on this. Do have a reason why it's moving. Reason why it's moving here this morning. Trump Media and Technology Group shares are trading higher amid continued volatility with the stock. The company said it sent a letter to NASDAQ regarding suspected short selling activity in the shares. So you tell me how many points you think that PR is worth. Not great, but this thing, as we've already seen, this thing does whatever it wants. Looks like it's moving up on some technicals here today. I want to see if the volume actually kind of increases from this pre-market volume when the market opens. If we get bigger volume in the regular sessions, could be in play all day here today.
Yeah, and for upside targets, the next ones I have are 38, 50, and 40. This is going to just move, like you said, however it wants to move. There's going to be a lot of people that trade this because it's got a lot of eyes on it. It moves a lot because it's very illiquid, and the spread between prices is quite large at times. So you're going to see these outsized moves. Personally, I don't think there's a whole lot of substance at all to this company. It's just a trading vehicle. So at the end of the day, if I was trading it or if you're trading it, I don't think it would be a good idea to hold it. You might, have a good overnight hold on one day, and you might have a really bad overnight hold the next day.
Indeed.
So it's just not worth the risk to me to hold these over the night. This is a day trading vehicle and nothing more, and I don't think there's a whole lot of fundamental substance behind this one.
Yeah, and so we'll see if this gives us any types of setups here today. Really good stuff on that one. Next here is going to be YYAI, and remember we've talked about this one recently. This is a recent ticker change. This really on Wednesday, April 17th, this thing really sold off here in the pre-market. Buyers bought it back up and into the regular session right back to 2. Now we're higher here. Sure looks like we're trying to break out 240 here to the upside on YYAI. If we do break 240 to the upside, I do think the highs here from the recent session at about 268, 270 in there, I think that's possible. A lot of this is going to depend here on the volume, though. Ticker YYAI.
Yeah, we already know this one. I didn't get too into this one because we already know it. We know it changed tickers. It used to be CXAI. Is that the one, or am I thinking?
Yeah, I think it was. I think or CNXA is one of those. One of those with the C. You're right. About
and the X or the A.
That's right. So
one of those. We already know what this is. We've already talked about it. I think it's just worth looking at the pattern and keeping an eye on the volume to see if there's any trade here. But I think we have some better choices for us today than this one.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. Anything else off the movers list that you want to take a look at? Para, TWG, CLSK. I know Bitcoin has actually been very, very interesting recently. Bitcoin obviously sold off on the headlines of the global macro event. It's actually been bought back up and went green here. So taking a look at IBIT here, this is the iShares Bitcoin Trust. if you're trading Bitcoin. Also, keep in mind, we've got the halving. I don't know, it's either today or tomorrow. I think it was 6 p.m. tonight, Pacific time or something like that. Someone check me there on the exact time, but we do have the Bitcoin halving. Anyone have any thoughts on this? Do you think the halving is priced in this? You think this is maybe a sell the news, buy the news? I'd be curious. For me, obviously, I'm still just holding my Bitcoin position. I'm not doing anything else trading wise around the halving, but just interested to hear people's thoughts.
I don't have a whole large opinion on what's going on with Bitcoin and the halving, but if I was gonna play the halving, I would look to past halvings and see how the asset traded. If you saw a sell off following the halving, or if it rallied some more, I would just start there. But for me, it's not something I'm looking at or paying attention to. So yeah, I'll just see what happens.
Yeah, that's kind of the boat that I'm in, 13. I'm glad that you said that, because I'm kind of just in the boat. Let's see, right? Let's see what happens, and I'll go from there. I'm okay on the position that I'm hodling. So, all right, let me flip over to trade the pool. We'll go through some other stocks. I know Netflix reported earnings. That one's interesting here. We'll take a look at some of the other stocks. I know some of you are mentioning SMCI. It looks like it's selling off here in the pre-market. I guess let me see if there was any news here. SMCI. This all happened since we started here, 13. So let's see. Looks like we do have a PR here. Supermicro to announce third quarter earnings results. So I think what's going on here, Jay, weren't you on this one? Let me see, because I've been following a lot of how, here it is. This is what I thought. SMCI, they gave no pre-announcement hitting NVIDIA and thus the Qs. So I think the expectation was that they might pre-announce, and now they're just telling you when the actual earnings date is, and that's causing the stock to sell off here. Kind of what I'm gathering from all that. Would love to hear what your thoughts are on that. See my post. Yeah, okay, I just did. So that's it. So you know what? With this, might be decent to watch the semis again. Maybe watch SMH, see if SOXL or SOXS gives you any type of tactical entry based on some of those technicals. That might be something that's on deck here for today. So we'll take a look at that.
It really does look like SMCI on a daily chart is about to roll over and start to hit some of these lows from February, and maybe even probably just February for now. I don't know about January. That's way further down at around 500. But for now, yeah, it's looking like this is wanting to go lower.
Right. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at Trade the Pool. Remember, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need to get over that 25K threshold, they're your people. If you need some more buying power, they can help you out with that too. Really good group of guys there. This is where we're going to be executing trades here. We did notice that MNDR kind of drifting up here again. So I guess we'll start with this one and we'll take a look at Netflix. MNDR, this thing has just been an absolute monster since that IPO, right around 5. Currently at 21.75 here. We'll see if this continues to trade up here, ticker MNDR.
I'm really curious to see if we can see a break over 22 out of the open. It's the formation that we have here really looks like it wants to take out that 22 handle. So that's going to be something I'm going to be watching for. We do have a pretty large amount of sell orders there at 22 as well. So the volume comes in and takes that out. I'm not sure how high this would go, but I'd imagine we see a nice volume stick out of that move.
Okay. Okay, let's take a look here at Netflix. Netflix obviously reported earnings last night. Big news out of that earnings print is that they're no longer going to report subscriber numbers past Q1 2025. So this is the last year that we're going to get subscriber numbers from Netflix. That's always one of the data points that's looked at when Netflix reports. I saw a piece on CNBC this morning. I can't remember the guy's name, Tom something. He was basically saying that, this is, I don't understand why they're doing this. Companies that want to advertise want to know how many households Netflix is reaching. And it just, it seems to be a very, very important number that they're just not going to report anymore. Rich Greenfield was saying that they're still going to give you insight into this number, but it's not going to be as frequent of an update. Thus, the number's not going to be as accurate as they have been reporting. The other thing that's going on with Netflix here is one of the things that we've been discussing is, kind of looking at the market. When might the market turn? When might the market come in? One of the things that we've been discussing is that when stocks report good earnings and then don't react to the upside on those earnings, that's a sign of a potential shift here. Now, a little bit of a caveat here with Netflix. First of all, the beat was on the top and bottom line. Guidance was good too. All of it looked pretty good, but then they said that they're going to stop reporting sub numbers. So part of me wonders, is this, Netflix just kind of being exhausted? Maybe peak earnings. You can only revoke the password sharing one time, right? That's you can only play that hand once. So maybe this is it. I don't know. I'd like to hear from the group how you folks are trading Netflix. Full disclosure, no position in Netflix, long or short, in any of my accounts. But I would, this would make for a really good trading stock. So just really curious to hear what the group says on Netflix. I also want to see how it actually responds here today.
Yeah, I'd want to see if this consolidation that we started putting in February and January is going to create a demand zone for the price today and try to help support it. Now, one of the things that it's headed towards right now is a gap down that was created on January 24th. And you have about, let's see, the low there is about 537 and the high of the previous day is, we'll call it 500. So you got about a $37 gap right there that could be filled if we continue to see downside.
There you go on Netflix. All right. I guess we're already kind of taking a look at SMCI. We'll see if SMCI actually gives us a potential trade here. One of the things that I'm going to do is just going to kind of mark off this range that it's created here. We'll flip back to it and see if we get an opportunity there. I've got five. I know those numbers are probably difficult to see. I've got 566.40 on the downside. Geez, for heaven's sakes, I'm sorry, folks. 866.40 on the downside, 895.10 on the upside. We'll see if SMCI breaks out of this range and how it does. What else do you folks want to take a look at? 13, was there anything that I did not cover that you wanted to take a look at before I roll through anything that the chat has here?
Nothing comes to mind. I think we covered all the movers.
Yeah, I think it does kind of feel like a light day today, doesn't it? Or at least so far.
It's probably going to be that way because now we just had Israel, retaliate against Iran. So I think this. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but it sort of feels like the market's kind of just holding its breath right now. Like it wants to see what's going to happen next. If we trade up, then that's kind of why I'm thinking that we might have a sideways day. So it's going to be one of those days where just kind of see what the market does. Make sure you watch what the news headlines that are coming out. Because I think that if there's anything that's going to move this market in a meaningful way, it's going to be what the news has to say.
Okay, really good advice there. Okay, Born. Good morning, Born. Really good to see you. Man, Born, we gotta work on some type of Florida trip, man. I can't wait to get down there and golf with you. Have some of your patented chicken. You had mentioned MU here. We're taking a look at that. Oracle and Apple, also stocks that you're taking a look at here. Oracle, this actually is coming into the 200-day. One of the things I'm waiting for here on ticker ORCL, very much like that PanW trade. What does it do when it actually reaches that 200-day? Does it hold there? Does it bounce from there? Does it consolidate? Does maybe it dip below and reclaim, shake out some people, and then start an up move here? Take a look at this daily chart. We almost completely filled the gap down here, which I would imagine is the next move. 200-day is right beneath it. I think there definitely could be a trade coming here on Oracle, but frankly, Born, I'm not quite there yet on the long entry. Keep me posted though on how you're trading this one. I like this one. I like that you're looking at this one here too. You got anything on Oracle?
So other than the 200-day SMA being, it being really the price being really close to that, I looked at the weekly chart, and it seems like we also have some lagging moving averages right in that same area too. So it does seem that this is this area between, we'll call it like 111 to 114, just for, because I'm not measuring anything really. Well, let's call that area like the support area. I really don't think I have great numbers that I'm giving you right now, but it seems like that range that I gave you is about where you're going to see some support based on this daily chart and the weekly chart. We also have a fairly low RSI on the daily chart, so that would also indicate that there could be a bounce soon. Unless this becomes even more oversold than it is heading towards. So I think that you might find some support around here. I don't know how long that'll last, but today at least, I think that's where you could find some support there.
Okay. All right. We'll also take a look at Apple here. I did want to highlight Carmen's comment here. It's something that I mentioned in happy hour. Carmen saying on the Netflix sub numbers, I remember when Apple stopped reporting handset numbers. No one cares anymore. Carmen's exactly right on this. Apple announced that they were going to stop issuing guidance or handset numbers or both at some point. It was years ago at this point. And Carmen, the initial reaction there was negative, very much like the reaction we're seeing here in Netflix. But you're right. It didn't take long, and then all of a sudden, nobody really cared about it. And I think you probably will get the same thing here with Netflix. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it makes a difference to the advertisers. But this was absolutely worth highlighting. We discussed this yesterday.
And the only MNDR is pushing up through 22. The only thing that I would say about that is Apple has continued to be on a tear ever since they stopped doing that. So they've continued to put out good ERs. Continue to make a lot of money. That might be different for Netflix if they can't, duplicate that same kind of success. We might see a little bit of a different story there. But I'm not saying that Netflix is going to do worse after this not the mention of no subscriber numbers. I just think that it's a different company, and we might see a little bit of a different reaction if they cannot produce the same type of earnings that Apple was able to after they announced no more numbers on handsets.
Yeah, thinking about it here, saying Netflix doesn't want you to see next quarter sub numbers because growth will be slowing. Remember, they're going to stop reporting Q1 of 2025. So you are still going to get growth numbers for next quarter, or excuse me, sub numbers. I beg your pardon. Okay. We got to be close to the open here, right? Yeah, we're 10 seconds to the open. Wow, we timed that really well, 13. This is going to be a good day. Gerald mentioning GL here. By the way, congrats to all of you folks. This is sometimes why we highlight these plays that really, really drop. Sometimes you can get a bounce here, and it's really, really profitable. Jared, you're going to get a register ring. Good luck, folks. Let's go.
Here we go. MNDR, 2250.
We'll take a look at SMCI here. Yeah. SPY, by the way, holding on to 499. We'll see if that reclaims 5.
AGBA going for that high of 166 from yesterday. Got to 162.
Here is your AGBA that did break that pre-market high.
164 now. Just be careful with this one. We don't want to get a repeat of what it did yesterday. Maybe we might, but just don't be in it when it does that. DJT.
Let's see what Arwood is doing here. This looks like that's dropping actually here. DJT, what's that doing? Looks like that big pull right to the VWAP. Watch to see if this holds here. When this does pull to the VWAP, it likes to actually go beneath it. No reason to jump in front of a falling knife, especially on this name. But if that reclaims the VWAP, there may be a trade there.
Yeah, I think you might. Sorry, it might be slowing down around under 35. So just watch for that.
Yeah, and it actually looks like it's trying to bounce off 35 there. ZCMD, this was that Chinese name that we talked about here. Big sell right off the open, pulling away from the VWAP to the downside. Let's take a look at Netflix, how that's doing post-open. First candle here is down on Netflix.
Hub C just kind of going sideways.
Let's take a look here at Hub C.
Yeah, MNDR, that was a good one. Almost got to 23.
That one looks a little thin. I think that was the one that Bex was on, weren't you?
Or MNDR.
MNDR, I believe.
Yeah, but it just had a really good setup, and that's why it wasn't moving a whole lot this morning. I think it was up like 7%, but the setup looked really good, and so now we're seeing the result of that.
SMCI bounced off that 866.40 level that we marked in the pre-market. It's actually back to VWAP now. Let's see if it can actually cross that. UAL again. Travis, good morning, by the way, Travis. UAL, good call here. Power candle off the open here. UAL really moving after that last earnings report. Bex, yeah, in an MNDR 669. Bex, hopefully you took some profit on the way up there. Really good stuff. You're going to get a register ring this morning as well. Arwood dipping under 12 now, going for that 1150 handle on Arwood.
Yeah, sweet. I noticed that as well. INDO started to get a move out of the gate here. It's looking pretty good, but it's just not, moving. Well, now it's starting to pick up as I say that. Here we go. Okay, well, there we go. All I need to do is start talking and it's going to move.
Hey, that's just how it goes, 13. We've learned that already here. By the way, SPY bouncing here, looking like it's going to try and retest 500. Definitely want to see what it does there. 499.30s at the moment on SPY.
Looks like DJT is getting support at 35. AGBA, that got to 164, and now it's pulling. Let's hope this isn't going to do what it did yesterday, but it's already starting to look like it is.
Which ticker? I'm sorry, AGBA?
AGBA. Got some support here just a moment ago, but I don't like the way the MACD looks at the moment.
Netflix might be bouncing here, or it might be trying to gain some footing. Back above the VWAP here on Netflix. SMCI 885, so you're 20 points off those lows in the pre-market.
Getting a mention about DFLI from STFU saying it's okay. It had a nice move out of the open there, all the way up to 85 and change cents. But yeah, this is not the type of ones that I am really interested in. It's under $1, but I will say that it does have a pretty decent formation, looking like it's trying to take out 87 cents from yesterday, which was the high. And if that happens, might see it rise to $1. Who knows?
A question here from Nicholas asking about Bank of America. So let me actually get that on a bigger chart here for us. We've got the SPY. Let me flip over. Oh, what did I do here? I think I have to actually refresh this. I think I locked it up there. Nicholas is, let me go back to trade the pool while this is loading real quick here. Nicholas saying back shooting up 1% or 3, any big resistance level on the horizon. Well, yeah, we really dipped off the highs here, had that at 38.45, so 2 points above where we're at now. Does look like it's kind of flirting with the 20-day SMA at the moment. So to me, it really seems like that's going to be one of the next spots. We really want to see some closes above that, don't we? Here,
yes.
let me go over to your bigger chart here, 13. And I still want to get your opinion on this one.
Yeah, and also when I looked at the left some more, I see that 37 is a pretty important level. So if you were to draw a line at 37, you could see how previous price action has seen that level as resistance. So getting over that I think would be a good thing for upside.
Yeah, and getting then over this 38.5 pretty much takes you over 2 more resistance areas. Then you can possibly start making your way back up to 50. I have not felt good about any of the bank trade. I've been very clear about that. But Bank of America definitely looking strong here.
Yeah, just watch for the moving averages in those levels we were talking about. Those could be some pretty important resistance levels.
Smart guy says, I work for a company that makes ATMs for Bank of America. They're always buying new ATMs. So I actually worked for a Bank of America, smart guy. And one of the things that I will say is that a lot of the times, if there is any type of exploit that can be used on some of those ATMs, the bank's going to replace them. They are going to try and fight any type of theft as good as they or as much as they can. And if that means a new ATM, then that's definitely something that they're going to do. But regardless, really good stuff there. Okay. SMCI was, after trying to bounce, completely reversed here. I think that this probably shows that we might have an SOXS trade right here. We're at the VWAP on this. I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should just try. I'm going to try some right here. We'll see if this ends up working. I'm going to give this a little bit of a leash. So if we come down to this, what do we have here? 41. If we really kind of sell off, we might even add here on SOXS. If we just kind of rock it from here, we'll just we'll scalp it and put some green on the screen. So long some SOXS here. We'll see if we get another pull. SMCI weak, pulling, hitting more lows here, SMCI.
Wow.
How's NVIDIA holding up with this SMCI move? Okay, NVIDIA selling away from its VWAP here as well.
INDO trying to make its next push up. It looks like it's trying to go for 515, which was the pre-market high. It's also one of the levels that I've drawn from previous times trading this.
Yeah, good call, 13.
515. That's the upside target we have from right here.
Hey, INDO so far.
CXAI. So that's the one that didn't merge. It's not YYAI, but CXAI. This one is got some, low volume, and it's not really moving compared to these other movers, but it did have a nice open. It got up to 340. Keep an eye on this one to see if we get some volume expansion on this one. It could start to move up to 355, and if it gets above that, then 4 would be on deck.
Yeah, and it really kind of leaked yesterday, so I wouldn't be surprised if it actually kind of bought that back up. Real quick here, I was saying, I'm not going to trade that Chinese name ZCMD. Jay Summers says, okay, hold my beer. I will. He's out here scalping it multiple times. So in and out. We're going to give you a register ring. Nice job getting green on the screen there early. You love to see it.
PLCE, this is Children's Place. That was when we traded earlier this week.
Good Lord.
I hate the name of this company, but this is having a nice move out of the gate here. Just something to keep on your radar in case we start to get some volume expansion. This one could try to go for the high yesterday, which was 910.
Jonathan saying the scanner's dry as a bone. Mine is too. It's pulling up American Express here. This is ticker AXP. They had earnings, right? Let me see what we had here. Yeah, earnings. So looks like they missed on the EPS here. That was today before earnings. AXP going higher here now. That is on my scanner. Really not a whole lot. That ZCMD kind of junky name is still on there. Got a penny stock on there that I'm not even gonna grip.
Oh, that looks like a bear flag. I wouldn't touch that.
Whoa, on ZCMD there? I gotta. Yeah, sure does. Yeah, you're right about that. Sure does.
To the point about the scanner being dry. Look, folks. If there's nothing that looks good to trade, have a nice weekend. Like seriously, just take the rest of the day off. Don't try to force anything and lose your hat.
Yeah, super good advice. What, especially on Friday, right? I mean, one of the things that we're seeing here is this. You could make an argument here that you kind of had a bull trap, right? We've sold off on these global tensions. The SPY got bought right back up, found some resistance at 500. I mean, I could see that sucking in people here. So if you don't see anything that you like or you feel real good about for the long term, I think that's really good advice, 13. There's no sense in hurting yourself more, right? Show up, be ready to trade next week. The show will go on here.
Yeah, you don't want to go into the weekend with a loss. That's not. You're not going to have a good weekend. I mean, you might be going to a game or a concert or something. You're going to be thinking about how you lost that last trade before you ended up going and having a good time. It's going to eat at your good time. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. AXP, by the way, 231.69, the high there, currently at 225. We'll see if that ends up getting it done there. SOXS looks like a little bit of a pullback there. This thing's volatile. The market here, looking at the NASDAQ, sure looks like it's going lower. I was also watching SMCI. Looks like we got our first. Oop, what happened here? Did I mistype it? Sure did. SMCI. Looks like we got our first bounce attempt there. That was short-lived. We actually back tested this 866 here. Wonder if we go lower from here. SMCI.
Well, that SPY. I mean, I think we're both right. Right, that SPY is doing a whole lot of nothing. Just kind of hanging out between that 5% level and 500 so far. We'll see if that changes today.
Gary, PWP is a longer term swing here. I have very little size in it. I kind of just took that starter position. So I'm still in it.
Yeah, I was going to say Brett also got it too. Swede, man. INDO, that was a good one. I think 515 is definitely on deck here. It really
did take out that pre-market high here, yeah.
It looks like it really wants to. So if it gets that one, then the next upside target I have is 560. But great job trading that if you're in it. That's a good one.
Yep, indeed. SOXS actually crossing through the VWAP, going towards those lows here on SOXS. See if we get an ad here. I still think we kind of fade this move a little bit here today. If we really break up and have a lot of upside momentum, we'll close it and wait for another setup. We should be able to trade these ETFs any day of the week. So WISA is moving. Oh no,
not Alyssa, but WISA. Yeah, it is.
Indeed it is. Where did we close yesterday? Okay, so we already did the red-green move here today.
Yeah, the next upside level I have is 625, and then we'll call it 655. It's just got to make its way through this after-hours consolidation that we put in yesterday. That's probably going to put some rallying pressure on it, but if we can get through that, then yeah, I think we could get up to 655. Looks like this SPY is also trying to push up to 500 right now as well.
Indeed, big time reversal there in SOXS. We'll see if this gets any uglier. We'll have to make a decision here pretty soon.
Swede was a good mention here. If INDO moves, HUSA sometimes follows. So let's
we've seen that before. HUSA just that 180 here. It is up a little bit, but fairly minor.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing. There's a wall of sell orders at about 193, and yesterday's high was 194. So there is. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but there is this setup here to where if the volume expands and takes out that wall, we're gonna see this probably move up into $2.
AGBA here curling off that VWAP. 160 looks to be the spot to break here. 164 that high. I see size at 155 and 160. So we'll see if these get taken out here as well. Still pulling here on the SOXS. SPY now testing 500 here, so 499.80 on the SPY. NASDAQ also bouncing. We'll see if this bounce is short-lived or not.
Think we're going to get that rejection of 500? Is that on what's happening here?
I wouldn't be surprised either way. Frankly, a pop above it and a pullback to it would make a lot of sense to me too. But you know, just kind of judging what we saw here in the pre-market, the buyers were out. The buyers were out early. They were buying that dip, so it certainly could have the possibility of breaking above. Here we go. By the way. Coming up to 500, 502 cents is your intraday high. That's getting tested as we speak and through now.
ACN, that's pushing.
ACN, really?
Mm-hmm. I put my money where my mouth is on this one because I was looking for I was looking for entry underneath the 200, and well, I really did get it. Yeah, I started averaging in for this one for a little bit of a longer swing. It's working out pretty well. I'm positive at the moment.
Okay, SOXS. Think we might try an ad here pretty soon.
Wow, nice rejection so far with the SPY. Couldn't hold 500.
Yeah, that's kind of. But I mean, it is early in that test too, so we'll see here. That was right at 500.
It certainly stopped the upper momentum. Okay, I think INDO, we're getting super close to 515. Man, this thing it really wants that level.
Okay, added here on SOXS. We'll see if we end up getting that. We sell off here. We might have to take this one off. But we'll try it. We will try it. All right, you guys are mentioning WISA. Ooh, WISA is spiking here. Good call. That volume did expand on this one too.
Yep, right to that. Well, it got to 660, so a little bit higher than what I was targeting. Now, if we keep pushing through that, next level is 7.
Yes, Kevin, I am long SOXS right now. It is not working though, so keep that in mind. It is not working at the moment. If this really starts to, it's dropping even more. If it really starts to get out of hand, we may have to stop out of this name here. SOXS. We shall see. I was thinking about fading this. Doesn't look like it's still has some strength here to the upside. We're bouncing on the SPY, bouncing on the Dow, or we're really positive here on the Dow, and we're also bouncing on NASDAQ or on the Qs here. So down on this trade so far, but we'll see. Go ahead, 13. I'm sorry.
It's all right. SPY through 500. See if it can hold that.
Yeah.
If it keeps moving up, I think about 501.50 could be a potential resistance level in the SPY.
NVFY being mentioned by Tuna here. This one looks a little bit thinner here, but a nice move. NVFY.
We traded this one too.
I think we did. Nova Lifestyle. This definitely reminds me of a stock that we've traded. So yeah, I am pretty sure you're right on that, 13.
Yeah, we traded before.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
All right, BPTH is another one we've traded before. That one's getting some volume right now. Pushed all the way up to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute, just over VWAP at the moment. The pre-market high in this one is at 570. So we'll see what this one can do.
Okay.
INDO.
Husa, by the way, I know we had already talked about that one. That appeared on my scanner here. This actually looks like it's breaking out of that area here on Husa.
That was Swede mentioning that if what was one he was talking about? If one of them, if INDO goes, usually HUSA goes. Yeah. Hey, Swede, you nailed it, man.
Yeah,
you got
did.
it absolutely right.
And the last time that we were trading this one, IMPP was also kind of thrown in there in those mentions. So that was a while ago, but here we go. Okay, it looks like SOXS bouncing. So that ad was pretty good. Let's see if we can actually get above the VWAP here and move higher. 13, I actually have to step away for 1 sec here. I'll be right back. Do you mind driving?
No, it's okay. As long as I can drive with my eyes closed.
Yeah, I mean, I trust your driving abilities, so no problem.
No worries. All right, so SBFM is turning up. I'm going to take a look at that one, see what we got with that. This is Sunshine Biopharma. Okay, so this one sold off out of the open. Now it's just finding a bottom. Yeah, I don't see. I'd have to look at a longer time frame to see how far back this goes for levels, but it does look like it's trying to find the bottom. We'll see if that's what's happening. What else you got for me? Yeah, it is ugly, but absolutely. Oh, it's a Zach call. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, then I have some mixed feelings about this one. But hey, if you can find a trade in this one, absolutely nail it. INDO looks like we're topping out here at about couldn't get through 5. So we'll see if there's some pullback and support probably around 450. And if that falls, then we might be going back down to the pre-market demand zone. Okay, done some. Just catching up. TWG, thoughts bottoming maybe? Well, let's take a look. Let's see what TWG is saying. It's Top Wealth Group. I like the name of that. Okay, so bottoming. Here's the thing. So I could see in the pre-market that there was, a lot of consolidation right about where this the price is right now. There's also the 200 EMA that it just got support from. So it's very possible we could be bouncing here. Now, if we do get this bounce, it looks like it's starting to materialize. I'd be a little bit concerned about when it gets back up to VWAP. You might see some resistance or rejection there. And I'm also looking at these upper shadows of these previous candles on the 5-minute chart. They don't look too good when they have these long wicks. So that usually indicates to me that we're not going to be getting a lot more upside. You can see in the pre-market that is this exact same way. Really, really strong in the pre-market, got those long top wicks, came back down, didn't do a whole lot afterwards. Maybe had one pop and then came right back in. So I think you're right. This could be a good support level, but I don't know how much upside there is going to be in TWG.
TWG is the stock that you were taking a look at. Okay.
Yeah.
Real quickly there, I was looking at WISA here. WISA just rocketing here. The expanding volume that we're looking at, or that we're looking for, this really kind of trading up here. The other thing is I should go to the washroom more often. SOXL really bouncing here, or SOXS, excuse me, really bouncing here and moving through the VWAP. This looks like this wants to go higher here. Market bounce in the Qs did kind of roll over here. Now that we've got this green, we're definitely not going to let it go red, right? So we're going to go ahead and actually set up a stop here. Again, with these names, one of the things is you can always rebuy these names. So at this point, really just kind of trying to protect the position. I feel like this is going to go higher, so I really don't even want to get flushed on a pullback, but I do want to set a stop just to kind of protect this. So let's go ahead and do that here. Let's set this right at the VWAP. Yeah, I'm going to stay in here. We'll see. I think that this goes higher here, but I really want to protect the trade. If I do get stopped out of it, no reason I can't just rebuy it here. So SOXS. Actually, it looks like we're trying to break out here. So I'll give it a little bit. Smoke Tuna mentioning KAVL. Remember, that was a former Zach call here, and KAVL, that's ripping. Low volume, though.
The thing about WISA is that it's in a zone right now between 7 and 775, where there's been a lot of consolidation in past days, especially 2 days ago on Wednesday. You could see there was some significant consolidation in that range. That's a lot of supply to eat through. So we're going to need to see some pretty significant volume expansion in WISA in order to get through that range there. But once we do, we could see a little bit more fireworks. I think
Right.
the upside target that we might be shooting for right now in WISA is 977. That was the after hours high yesterday.
Stopped out of SOXS for a gain that was just to protect my trade. Probably should have sold it at those highs, but it really looked like it was going to break out again. I'm going to keep my eye on this one here pretty much all day here today. 1 for 1 on that trade. We actually added when it came back in too, so that was pretty nice. That was something that I rated myself on yesterday. I had a really, really good ad spot that I ended up not taking. Was trying to change that up here for today. 1 for 1, a small trade there, but 1 for 1 so far on SOXS. Again, I'm gonna be watching that all day that I'm at my terminal here.
SPY rejection 500.
Let's take a look at that. That did push up to that 500. We'll see if we how many attempts it takes to actually move through that. If we do move through that 500 level.
Line Atlas mentioning that Paramount's going higher. I see that we went higher after hours yesterday. I don't see how we're going higher at the moment right now. I mean, unless you're saying that it's about to.
Me?
Maybe no. I'm talking to
okay.
Line Atlas,
Yes,
who's mentioning Paramount.
Sorry, I'm actually cleaning something up here on the administrative side.
No worries.
Real quick. Apple looks like it's going lower. Netflix trying to bounce so far. Swing account actually doing decent today. That's not bad.
Oh, Apple is so close. It's so close. Almost to 165, man. It's so close.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. 165 has been
almost there.
A long it's away.
Just hold them off for a few seconds. we're such dorks, but you know what? I actually love it. Jay Rice mentioning Reddit. Sorry, I wasn't as quick on that one. Reddit, there it goes. Reddit is trading up here. Also getting that expanding volume that we're looking at, or that we're looking for. All right, I think I just I did. All right, I just handled it. All right. Reddit pushing up here. SOXS really reversed here. Glad I took the gains off the table. That's one of the things with these ETFs. They're so liquid, you can trade it back and forth. Definitely left some on the table. Maybe I should have been a little bit more active there, but nonetheless, good first read here. See what the market ends up doing here. Netflix is trying to break out of 570 and go higher.
WISA is still trying to make it through that consolidation that I was talking about. It got as high as 731. Still trying to work on that. 775 is where I think we could start to see the upside move pick up. But that's if they get through this consolidation.
Producer WISA. Actually, producer Alyssa. What happened to my one of my scenes here that I used to use for Trade the Pool is gone. Can't figure out why.
Bitcoin names are looking like they're about to take off here. We have Riot.
Now, which ones though? The miners?
Riot, Mara, and CLSK they all three have a pretty good looking chart formation after the open. It looks like they're trying to gear up to take out their session high right now.
Yeah, now remembers that CLSK. Actually, I drew this here today. So CLSK, let's see if we can break above that 17. If we backtest that, might have a long there.
Yeah. So just just noticing the pattern in some of these Bitcoin names.
Dork is not a ticker. Sorry for interrupting.
No worries. The thing about Bitcoin is that I think it needs to get back over 65,000 in order for those patterns to resolve the way we want to see them resolve.
AMC going parabolic here on volume.
Oh, people still go to the theater, huh?
I mean, hands off on this one here for me. Hands off. I've been saying that for a while. I've been consistent in my hands off call on AMC. You guys can trade it. All good. If you figure out a way to make some money, that is what's most important here. I'm going to stay away from AMC though.
I'm currently trying INDO. I want to see if I can get from VWAP to 515.
This bull flag looks pretty good. I think we maybe break out of here.
So that's one I'm trying.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to join you, 13. I'm going to join you here. 489 entry. I just took it small, just 100 shares on this initial entry. Let's see if we break out of this flag. Pull back down to the VWAP and a hold there at 173. I'll add.
Okay.
And we'll see. We'll see on INDO. You've been hot, so we'll try and play that.
All right. So I'm just gonna set a stop there because this does have a. It's not too spready, but there is enough of liquidity in this in order for me to want to set a stop just to be safe.
Sure. And I mean, one of the things that I'm doing here in terms of like trading this tactically, really, really small starter position in case this flag doesn't hold up and maybe we just break. I'm not going to be upset, right? 100 shares, no big deal. Already got green on the screen. We should be all right with that.
All right. So it seems like you may have just filled there if on this down.
I didn't have an order out. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. And I wasn't clear about that. And I apologize. I did not have an order out. I would like to buy it right. You know what? Maybe I will put it out here. I'll put it out there at 473. We'll see if it gets filled. If we plunge and knife, I'm obviously going to get filled on the way down, which I'm less than thrilled about. But I will still have kind of a small position. And if it's really looking like it's going to knife and plunge, we can just cut it.
Yeah, I want to see the volume get a little bit better here because it's not looking too good at the moment.
Chuck, I missed that earlier. You're 1,400 the past 2 days. Chuck, dude, multiple register rings will give you a
nice.
1-up. I think I've got a Jaws drop in here that we can try real quick. Let me see. We're going to give it to you. We're going to give it to you real quick.
I got stopped out
on INDO.
Yeah, it didn't work out. No big deal.
I got filled to the downside, but hang on a sec. Here you go. You got it. Here you go, Chuck. We got one.
Great success.
Great success. And Chuck's going to need a bigger boat. Nice job, Chuck. Enjoy your weekend, dude.
Bitcoin getting back up to 65,000. So maybe those names start to turn around. Those flags they were putting in, not really resolving right now.
Smart guy, do you have an air horn sound effect? No, I don't. And let me tell you something here. I got to be honest. That air horn that I hear literally everywhere, boop, 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 like that is the most annoying drop I've ever heard. I feel like that is so overplayed and annoying. You're not going to see that from me.
Every time Ryan makes a new good trade, oh, right, Ryan.
Oh, man, I'd be out of here. I'd be like, you know what, guys? I need some PTO. I need to get. I can't deal with those things in the morning. I like having fun with you folks, though. Okay, we get another breakdown here on INDO. We'll cut this one. We did add on that push or on that plunge, but if we set a new low here, oh gosh, we're right there, aren't we? I'm going to go one lower here. Okay, so we set a new low here. We'll be out.
Yeah, I probably was just early on this one, and maybe it won't go to 515. It just looks like it's gearing up to, but I didn't trade that correctly. So
stopped out of INDO on that plunge. So we tried for a break out of the bull flag. We tried an add at the VWAP. Neither worked. We're out. We'll reassess. We'll go at it again.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah, Lynn wants the Chelsea dagger. I mean, it's too the sweet spot for sound effects are ones that are real short. The ones that go on for too long, you can't plan. I don't know. The Chelsea dagger, the Hawks got a good thing going. We'll leave it to them. GL still in beast mode. Is that still rolling, Lion? That's pretty much even here today. Fifth Third Bank. They report earnings this morning. I think they must have.
FitB.
Let's
see. Would it be with FitB?
WISA. It looks like I picked the wrong one. WISA trying to break out of this bull flag on the 3-minute here. Let's see if this actually takes the top end of this range off. That add at the VWAP on WISA would have been pretty good. Looks like I just traded the wrong stock. Plan was decent, though. 732. We'll see if we break here on WISA. I see some size at 730, but not insurmountable.
Well, this is the one I was saying where it's got to get through that consolidation between 7 and 775. We put that consolidation in 2 days ago, and it's just a big zone of supply that it's got to chew through, and it's not doing too well at the moment, but that doesn't mean that it can't later. It's just got to, it's holding 7, so that's good. But like I said, a lot of supply to chew through. So we just need to see more volume expansion in this, and then it could get up through 775.
TWG rejected at the VWAP on the trying to reclaim it. Let's take a look here at SMCI. SPY still struggling to get above that 500. SMCI continuing to the downside here. In fact, man, oh man, I should have been looking at this instead of XOSS. I was using this as a proxy. Look at this move back to the VWAP and a rejection there, then bang, right beneath our channel there, and this going lower here. That would have been a 40-point short there, SMCI. That one pretty good.
All right.
That horn is the Wilhelm scream of overused sends up. Fairchild, I don't even know if I could have said this better. You are 100% correct with that assessment.
CLSK, Riot, and Mara are all pushing up right now.
They're all breaking out of that area here. Let's see if CLSK can break the 1720 here.
Well, that the patterns were good.
Permission to buzz the tower. Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. Oh man, I do love some classic movies. I do love me some classic movies.
That would actually have a lot of good sound bites from it, like because I was inverted.
Yeah, oh god,
that was one of my favorite lines.
There are so many. There are so many. There are so many from the original Top Gun. That might be a weekend project. That might be a weekend project. He went like this way, I went like this way, and I was like, Hollywood, where'd he go? Hollywood's like, where'd who go? Oh, there's so many good lines. There's so many. I'm gonna look into that. Maybe we'll reshuffle the soundboard a little bit.
Getting a mention with VCIG.
DGAF, are you saying SMCI has a short sale restriction at the moment?
Oh, well, that's interesting.
That indeed it is.
VCIG, it's just kind of like on a slow grind up to that.
DJT might reclaim the VWAP here. Did you say VCIG, Victor?
Yes.
Charlie, Indigo Golf? Okay.
Yeah, that one has a looks like after hours high of 155.
And DJF saying, yeah, that is a short sale restriction there. Interesting. MNDR, oh my gosh, 25 MNDR. Bex, this was a great trade, taking some of it off and giving yourself a trailer here. This was an absolute monster. You only need a couple of these to really make it a decent week or two. So really good stuff there. Really good stuff there from the group. Goldman Sachs having a pretty decent day here today too.
I'm trying to think. Did they report, or is that next week?
Which? Goldman already reported.
Okay, so then it's Morgan Stanley that reports next week, right?
Yeah, Goldman reported. I'm trying to get you the date. Goldman reported 4/15, April 15th, tax day. How about that? How about that? Hub C, Kalu giving a Hub C mention. Looks like maybe that's curling off 130, going back towards the VWAP.
No, Morgan Stanley reported on the 16th. Who am I thinking of that reports next week? No, not them either. I don't know. It'll come to me. WISA's still trying to. Okay, so now WISA's trying to put in a bit of a bull pennant here.
Yeah, I mean, the more that this compresses, I think it breaks out of this pretty violently, don't you?
I don't know about violently. I think that it's going to be a slow grind to get up through that consolidation. But once it does, it'll. I think we'll see the movement pick up after that.
Okay.
Maybe you're right too. Maybe it does just get a whole bunch of volume all at once and go right through it.
Smoke Tuna saying Tesla could have found a bottom here. Tesla actually looks like it is trying to push away from the VWAP. How is Meta doing today, Gladys? Meta is using that VWAP as resistance thus far.
Now here's something I haven't seen in a while. All the Mag 7's red.
What is that? Does that tell you anything?
That we're finally seeing some rotation out of these Mag 7s and into something better. At least that's what the hope is. All right, so WISA trying to push here now. Trying to make that push to get to 775, get through this consolidation.
Here we go. 732 that spot. 730 SMCI. Oh, they just ate it. They ate it in 2 blocks. It looked like on my ladder.
Nom.
And nom is right. They went right through that.
All right, coming up to 750. There's some pretty good size of sell orders there. NVFY getting loaded for 3, says Smoked Tuna. WISA still having a hard time with this consolidation, but just watch. There's going to be this one buyer that comes in and takes out that 750, and then this thing's going to get wild. It'll happen. And if it doesn't, then we're going back to 7, maybe lower. TWG. What was the one? It's a NVFY. Okay, let me bring that up on my screen.
I'll do it too. I was just answering Luke. Luke says hi, by the way, to everybody out there.
Hey, Luke.
Hey. This just broke. Oh, God. Right as I hit enter, it went to the top end there. It did break out of this a little bit. Let's see if it yanks or if it really goes here. 750 has more size, and it looks like it wants to challenge that.
Yep, that's the one I was pointing out there. It's got to get a big buyer to come in and just wipe that out, and then we can get to 775. But the NVFY, that one was moving when I looked at it. We're at 304 right now. Let me see if I can find some levels with this one.
I absolutely love this. Jay, I mentioned this morning. You might have been getting coffee again, which is great. By the way, hopefully your hip's doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. Yes, it tells me on the Mag 7, if you take a look at Netflix, they had a decent report and sold off. All these Mag 7 names, except Tesla, have had good runs this year to date. Big expectations with earnings coming shortly. This is exactly what I said at the beginning of the day here. We have been discussing this in Happy Hour. When some of these stocks are reporting good numbers, remember Netflix, top and bottom line beat and good guidance. It's not even like they were soft on the guidance. Selling off now. And to Jay's point, we're going to have some more of these names here that are going to be reporting with some high expectations. So it'll be very interesting to see if this is kind of a one-off here for Netflix. We're going to see this across some of the other, some of those other stocks. By the way, don't have any position this time, unfortunately, but SOXS looks like it's pushing away here. Looks like this is trying to go higher here. 42.50 right now, SOXS.
All right, so after 3, if we can start closing above it, NVFY, I would say that 330 is the next upside target. Oh, we're getting through.
Look at that,
again.
Jonathan Cooper, and NVFY above 330 could run.
There we go.
Great minds, folks. Great minds.
That's awesome. Glad you're seeing what I'm seeing. Must mean we're seeing the right thing. All right, so these Bitcoin names, what they ended up doing. They popped and dropped because Bitcoin did the same thing. Got up to 65,000 and came back in. Sydney Osborne mentioning VFF. I'll take a look at that. Village Farms. Okay. Take a look at a daily chart here. I like the daily chart. Okay, so if you're referring to this this formation we're getting here on a daily, then it's just a matter of time before this resolves.
NVFY pop through 3.
Yeah, look at the VFF on the daily. You tell me what you think here, Ryan, because I like that that particular pattern formation.
Let me get my bigger daily here so we can kind of, have a discussion together. VFF, you said, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Village Farms. Okay, so here's what we have on the daily. And we have a nice run up on some good volume, but we were flat rejected here at the 500 day. As you can see, as we kind of drifted back in a little bit, we did not break down, and we actually did this on volume that's kind of decreasing. RSI is kind of in no man's land at the moment, but to be quite honest with you, 13, I think as long as this holds 120, kind of like it here, because I suspect that what we're going to do is try and bang on this 500-day until it either falls or until we break out of this formation. So one of the things that I'd be looking at here for is the volume to start expanding the other direction. If you get that, I think we might have another attempt here at going through that 500-day. We'll see if it's still at 145 when we get there. But this actually doesn't look terrible, 13. Where are you at with this one?
Well, I do like the pattern. So that's the first step for me. So I kind of like how the technicals are set up. The next step that I'm going through right now is looking at some of the more fundamental metrics here, and things like their float, what kind of cash position they have, what their earnings are, trying to get an idea if this is if this is something that I'd want to trade or hold or whatever, what have you, because we're looking at a daily chart, so we might not get the big move that we're looking for today. We might get it another day. The thing is that this, to me, looks like if we go back under $1, because it's been trading underneath there, prior to, I believe, prior to today or prior to this month. It could, if we get back beneath $1, we could be looking at a potential reverse split.
Yeah, that to me, but under $1 here, no good. No good. And in fact, I wouldn't want to hold that until then anyway. I'd want to be out there a little bit earlier. Let me flip back over to Trade the Pool. Good morning. Stay focused. Hey. Hope you guys are printing. We did all right here this morning. Didn't have anything really big. I am trying to fade some of these pops. SPY's really struggling with 500, as we've seen. We did trade SOXS already here today. Unfortunately, though, I wasn't in it for this recent move away from the VWAP. I suspect that we think this goes higher here. But also wanting to see where the SPY ends up closing. What are you trading here today? And what do you think about the market?
Oh, there goes NVFY, and we're almost to 330. We're about 3 cents away. So yeah, that was cool. Now, stay focused. I'm small green today, but I've just been, missing the boat on some of these things. I just don't want to chase.
Yeah, my deal is too. I don't want to don't want to try to play hero on Friday. Lynn and Randy, there's in your settings menu, there's now a watch list settings option. So you just click the profile icon in the upper right, and then you click on watch list from the left-hand panel. Automatic symbol selection while scrolling is a toggleable option. NVFY continuing to push here. SOXS looks like it's trying to go higher, and I'm not in it. Bummer.
Yeah, WISA, it's still trying to get to that consolidation. And that 750 wall is still there. If we're going to have to see a break here pretty soon, because if we don't, it's probably going to start to roll over and put pressure on $7.
Stay focused, saying SOXS, rinse and repeat, bro. That is what I have been looking at here for this morning. Unfortunately, I didn't do a great job with this most recent move, but I think we'll get more opportunity here today. Good to know we're looking at the same thing.
Jane, that's great discipline, and that's why you're still in the game.
That is good discipline, indeed. Indeed. SOXS pulling back in now. We'll see if we get another entry there.
Now we have the Bitcoin names pushing again. Mara just broke out. Riot is looking to do the same. CLSK trying to take out the previous breakout that got it up to 1732. And now we have SPY that just found some support around that 5% pullback level. So let's see if we can get back up to 500. See, Cavill is holding
NVFY. That was a nice one, by the way. You guys that are on that was a nice one.
INDO coming down. Move. AGBA. What? Yeah, I do agree with someone's going to give. So NVFY all the way up to 347. Will we get 4? Maybe. What else are we looking at, folks?
I'm just kind of looking around. Things do seem to have dried up. Somehow my swing account is actually doing well.
Lunar
Pops.
Lunar has been moving kind of under the radar here today. Not a really big move. That's probably why it's only up about 22 cents. But, kind of moving up.
Nice slow move up there.
AGBA had a knife that came down through VWAP and it's curling to come back up and retest VWAP. I'd imagine that we probably are going to get a pretty good rejection at VWAP because the volume does not look great. Now, we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. But if we do get a VWAP rejection, I would anticipate a pullback down to somewhere between 110 and 115.
Q's going lower here. SOXS breakout. This is what I wanted that first time. Should have just maybe stayed in it a little bit longer instead of trying to scalp it. I don't know. We'll see how the day ends up finishing up here. Nice little move here. Market is moving lower here across the board.
All right. So WISA trying to make its next push.
AGBA trying to reclaim its VWAP.
Here, it's trying for 750. Really starting to get some volume expansion. So we might see it break.
Here it is. We're on 750 right now.
Yeah, just need a little bit more.
Here it goes.
Oh, here we go.
Through.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice pop. 10-cent pop there.
Looking for 775. That was nice.
That was nice indeed. Stay focused, mentioning that NVIDIA breaking down here. Indeed, breaking down off that VWAP, SOXS. That's the place to be. I'm waiting for a pullback. SMCI continuing to sell off here, down now 120 points from that pre-market level. Tesla actually curling here. So we talked about that as with respect to the rest of the Mag 7s. Tesla, the strongest looking intraday chart here today.
Voodoo, I'll do that. When I get
TWG might try to move through its VWAP here. TWG. Actually, I might try a little right here. We'll see if we get a push through. Got a little bit of size here, 228, 229. I know I'm rolling the dice here with some of these smaller names again. We'll see. 240 is the next block if this snaps.
SPY under the 5% pullback level. I would really love to see the gap get filled today. That would just send me into the weekend with a big smile on my face.
Love that Lion Atlas out here trading Bitcoin.
Great success.
Oh, I had the wrong thing queued up here. We're going to give you the register ring for that.
Hey, I like that one too.
Success. Yeah, you also
like
get
that
Borat in there.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Actually, what we need to do is we need that MGM line roar every time he has to trade like that.
Oh, man, that would get old quickly, I think.
Really? I
mean, I also watch movies, so I hear that lion roar outside of the show. So I think that might be playing into that, but I mean, maybe not.
I remember I had this on my screen because it was being mentioned earlier, but if you're still playing DFLI, the one that's under $1, it looks like it's getting ready to try and take out the intraday high at 87.65. Just something to put an eye on if you're trading that. WISA still WISA broke through 775 and came back in. Now it's trying to push up some more. That was awesome. Finally, it took a little while to get through that supply, but it did.
Here we go on TWG. Let's see if we can get up to that 240 here. We can close that for a quick little scalp. SOXS continued higher. Looks like it's testing that 43 level.
So now if WISA isn't able to go higher at the moment, then we have VWAP that could, and the $7 level that it can catch it on if it comes back in. And if we hold there, then that would be a good sign that we might see another upward move later on today. And some of these Bitcoin names are just kind of wild today.
Jane saying, hope everyone has a safe and fun weekend. And to you, Jane.
Yep.
I'm going to try and get some golf in this weekend, so you know that's good.
NVFY coming back in and holding at VWAP right now. That's what you want to see if you're looking for more upside.
Stay focused, saying 13. Do you think Netflix will hold VWAP?
Let's take a look here. Last time you asked me if something was going to happen, like you asked me, I think yesterday, if we were going to break through 504, and we got a little pop over it, and then it came back in, and this didn't go back up there. So if I say something, it might, happen on a very small scale. But let's see, NFLX.
And real quick, while you're looking at that, Nicholas, you got to bounce. You take care of yourself, my man. Good to have you here. We do have a good community here. In fact, it's the best community. I might be a little biased, but I don't care.
Let me give you an answer on Netflix here in just a tick.
Netflix already under some pretty decent. So I think it could hold this.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm kind of wondering what time frame. Oh, I know it's. Are you looking at in particular? Because I know that VWAP is same for across all time frames. But is there something in particular that you're looking at on a time frame that's got you questioning me? What do you think?
Are you asking me or stay focused?
No, I'm asking stay focused. I
Gotcha.
just want to know what time frame he's looking at in particular.
Costco straight down.
So, for me, stay focused. It's what I'm looking at isn't so much VWAP as it is this consolidation that we had from January and February. This has been the zone right here where we're getting support. Now, the fact that we're underneath some of these EMAs that I look to for support doesn't necessarily look good to me. It seems as though if we can continue to hold 557, that would be a good sign that we might retrace. But I just don't think we're going to be holding it. I don't know about today, but eventually I think we're going to get back down and maybe even fill that gap and end this floating island.
SPY looks like it's coming in a little bit here.
I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better answer. Stay focused, but I just I don't know what today's going to hold for Netflix, but over the longer term, I think this needs to come in a little bit more.
Look at this move here in SOXS. We were on the right things here today, folks. We were definitely on the right things. Missed the leg that I really should have traded, but still made some money on this one. SOXS, next pullback would be something to take a look at here. We're almost $1 away from the VWAP.
All right, now WISA is pushed up and hit 8. So that was a nice move through 775 and up to 8.
Stay focused, saying he thinks the SPY will drag it down at some point there. Netflix.
Yeah, I could see that. I think the SPY is going to pull a lot of things down.
Indeed.
DFLI. Looking like you might get that move you're looking for pretty soon here. We're coming back right up to the intraday high at 87 cents. So if you're trading that, may the odds ever be in your favor. I don't even know why I said that. I don't even read the books or watch that movie.
I don't even know what you were referencing. SOXS, right back to the highs.
Well, then I guess we'll just keep it that way.
Darn, man, that's a bummer right there.
You can Google it and you'll be like, oh.
I don't even remember what you said anymore now. CMD holding this bottom area. This thing was nothing but a fall away here. Jay Summers, I'm glad you were able to get some green on that earlier. I don't see much of it here anymore. This TWG trade is boring. Really like this to kind of move. Just kind of considering taking it off here. I think he was referencing some young adult child book. I like how politely you put that. MVFY, what's going on with that one?
Chick book, not child book. Chick book. It's I don't think it's not the Twilight series, so no. I mean, you might be right. I don't know.
Yeah, stay focused. I'm doing I'm saying the same thing, but you know what? We can always rebuy it. We can always rebuy it. Hunger
Rising
Games.
Sign. Yeah, that's what it was.
Hunger Games.
See, I don't even remember the title. That's why I was like, "What? Why did I just say that?" I don't even know what Hunger Games fan. I don't even watch the movie or read the book, so I couldn't tell you. I'm not even really that big of a Jennifer Lawrence fan either. So. Why
let's see. Let's take a look at some of these smaller cap names here. INDO still right at its VWAP. Well, this is all over the place.
Yeah, I'm doing a really good job with that, huh, Justin?
Acting so like he doesn't know about the name.
I couldn't think of the name, man.
Out here.
I couldn't think of the name. You know, you watch enough TV, you see the damn commercials all the time.
CAG running. Oh, yeah, it is.
So
Conagra Brands. We talked about this one too.
Oh, Conagra, yeah. All right, so we are really starting to look like we're going to get that gap fill. We're so close. I didn't say that she wasn't hot. I'm just not a big fan. NVFY. This one popped to 347.
330 on NVFY. Man, oh man.
Came back in, found support at 3. Now it's trying to push through 330 again. Upside target after 330 is $4.
X Sniper saying he needs to hire somebody to take his keyboard away. At least you've identified what the issue is. SMCI short of the day indeed. What a reversal earlier. Sorry, I didn't short that one. Was looking at the SOXS, but that's also been a really good move as well.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of Hollywood celebrities, really.
Yeah, me either. Me either. TWG is super boring.
Look, I agree, you guys. She's very, very good on the eyes. Okay, I agree with you.
Easy on the eyes is the term. Easy.
Okay. See, I can't even get that right either.
No, you're fine.
Her hotness was confirmed by the leaks. Oh man, you guys are funny.
Smoke Tuna is a comedian. He does that in his spare time, from what I understand. Voodoo. Get a round of applause for Voodoo right there. Smash up the like for him being too old.
All right, it looks like Wissa wants to make some more magic happen. We're still holding 775. And we're about to get an EMA crossing view after the upside. So we'll see if 775 holds. We'll probably get that push through 8. And
which one? Wissa? Is this Wissa now?
Yeah. See, I don't even know who Tanashi is. Great, you pinpointed stuff. I was watching it off. Oh gosh, that was
TWG.
I'm trying to think.
I knew that this was junk.
That's a Dan Aykroyd.
That was junk.
That's a Dan Aykroyd line, if I recall.
What movie though?
I want to say Tommy Boy.
God, that is.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool. The Fed is talking. Oh, okay. Well, now we're going to get some.
Doesn't the Fed have a blackout period starting like tomorrow? Isn't like today the last day? That someone check me on that. Isn't today the last day that they can talk? I feel like they have a blackout until May. SOXS bouncing, by the way.
I like this because we've been talking about this. As a matter of fact, this was one of the big things about the case that I was that I'd made in happy hour.
Wait, what are you referring to?
Fed Goolsbee says persistently high housing inflation is main short run problem. Sees more space for progress on services inflation from labor supply increases. Remember, one of the things that we're seeing such high inflation for in the services sector is because we just love raising wages.
You are right, Ryan. Yes. Okay. I thought so. So we're getting all, that's interesting. I wonder if we figure out for a trade on that. We've got some of the speakers that are going to throw monkey wrenches into the market kind of out of the way. What do we think on that? What do we think the market does?
What was the whole
So we have
question?
a blackout period till May on Fed speakers. So basically, we've seen the Fed talk and the market, react to it. Now we're not going to have that for a while. You think we go up, down, maybe sideways? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Oh, well, it's just going to, I think that you're going to see the attention go from, the Fed over to the whole earnings season.
Yeah, that's
so I
true.
don't think that they'd be paying attention much to the Fed anyway with the earnings season coming out. I don't think the Fed would really make a difference anyway either. I think that the market is looking to sell. I mean, we're already seeing that with these Mag 7s. Well, Tesla's now up slightly, but I don't think it's going to. Well, let's see. We were talking about 140 in Tesla as being a bottom, right? That was the next support level we were talking about in happy hour. I believe it was. So maybe that's what we'll see with Tesla, is that it'll get support down there. But I think this market is looking to go a little bit lower and then try to recover next week. I think with the earnings next week and the economic data, there might be some upside, because we've had 3 weeks in a row where it's just been selling, and we're a little bit in oversold territory. So I expect there to be some kind of a bounce next week.
AXP breaking out of its flag here, just as we're speaking. And that 500, I mean, that was really defended here today. That's clear resistance, in my opinion, now, until maybe one of these macro events or one of these earnings ends up taking us over that level. But to me, that's very, very clear resistance.
Yeah, twice this morning we tried to push over it in a meaningful way and got rejected.
Indeed.
But this is the price action I was anticipating, and we're still in the morning, so we could see things change. But this is the price action I was thinking we were going to end up getting today. I think it's just going to be a lot of back and forth between levels in a range. The 5% pullback level is going to be support and resistance. So will the 500. The 500 is resistance at the moment, but as soon as we start closing above it, it's going to like it's been before. It's going to be support if we start getting closes above it.
PAPL might be setting up here, Jonathan. Maybe we go higher here on a 210 break.
Yeah, Swede, you're right. And Voodoo, yeah, 140 potential. That's what the consensus is in the happy hour group. But yeah, I think you're right. A lot of room to fall after 140 if that doesn't hold. That was a big drop for SMCI.
Yeah, it was. That was the short here of the day for sure. That was the move.
Now, Kingdom Lamb, if HAYO is a ticker, that's going to be amazing. Oh man, can you imagine if some company came out and said, "Hey, our company ticker is going to be HAYO"?
I mean, there'd be a lot of screaming.
That thing would rally just on the name alone. I mean, we have seen tickers rally just on the ticker alone because it's had AI in it. They've done that.
But heyo.
Oh, for sure. I think you get a generational push there.
Heyo. I don't see a whole lot of anything, folks. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's why we're, kind of talking, looking for trades and BSing all at once. Now, the interesting thing about Boeing is I've been looking for 165 in this one as well. This one's been putting in a broadening wedge since January of 2023. Just, kind of consolidating. In the consolidation, the highs and lows tend to get bigger and bigger until we have this, trading up to a level and then trading down to a level. We went up to 244, and then just a matter of months later, like a quarter later, we were down at 176. Then we rallied all the way up to 266, just another, several months later. And now here we are back down here beneath that previous level. We're broadening. I'd like to see us get down to 165, touch the bottom of the broadening channel, and then we can start talking about returning back up. I think you're right, though. We're turning around soon.
Ex-Sniper so we didn't take his keyboard away, if you recall, and he took some of this TRSG, and now it's ripping. So Ex-Sniper, do you want to amend your comment from earlier about wishing that we took your keyboard away, because you'd have no YOLO position in this if that was the case? That actually just reminds me of arguably one of the best scenes from The Fugitive. I don't know if it fits here, but it reminded me of that. That might just be me being crazy.
Wes, you're saying AGBA bounced off my level. The downside level, the 65 EMA down at that we were talking about earlier. I guess I'm just needing clarity on which level it was, because I know I've been talking a lot of levels today.
STFU saying jumping from the dam. No, but close to that. He said, I was thinking, care to revise your statement. And I was hoping he was going to be like, what?
Yes.
So I could be like, do you want to change your bullshit story? It's because that's really what it is. He doesn't want us to take the keyboard away. I know for a fact he wants his keyboard, and now he's hitting it. TRSG. By the way, all jokes aside, this is halted to the upside. Third halt of the day here today.
Oh, the 110, the 115. Gotcha. Yeah. That just looked like that was a good support area. Plus the 65 EMA was right in there. So, yeah. Thank you for the mention, though. I appreciate it.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, we are going to see. That's right, Ryan. We're going to see what this market's going to do for us. You're green on the day. I'm slightly green on the day. Not a whole lot of trades, but, the ones that I've had have been decent.
Yep. Look, I got nothing, unless I feel great about something, I got nothing to try to be a hero about here today.
No heroism today. We had plenty of that. Oh, wow. Okay. So NVFY had that breakthrough 360 up to 363 up through that 330 level. That
370 is a spot, isn't it?
I don't have it marked off. It could be, but the next upside target I have from 330 is $4 even. Ryan, we got a swimmer.
We got a swimmer. I think that is from The Fugitive, actually. Right? Isn't it? When he jumps off the dam?
Back to the Future when he jumps off the dam?
No, not Back to the Future. Fugitive.
Oh, The Fugitive.
The guy did a Peter Pan right here. Oh,
that
man.
line I remember.
Yeah, Billy Jones, dude. He's something else.
You're watching famous movie quotes with 13 and Ryan.
I mean, look, when the market's slow as molasses like this.
Line Atlas FMC. This one doing things?
Oh, I don't even see anything on the Twitter streets, folks.
Well, because Elon doesn't want people making those BS tweets anymore. So I guess.
Hey, look, the engagement farming that we talked about with Alyssa this morning. That sounds like a good thing. Straight up, that sounds like a good thing. Stopping engagement farming.
Is that the official phrase of putting it, engagement farming, or is it because I usually heard
because basically what they're trying to do,
likes.
Yeah, I mean, but they're trying to get clicks, right? They're trying to get people to click, expand the profile, interact with the content, maybe even post. Even if they call them names, that's still engagement. So,
yeah, they don't care what kind of engagement as long as they get it, right? Your anger fuel then. Well, what is going on, folks? Yeah, that's what I feel.
Nothing. Even the cat's bored. Office assistant is out of here. He's going to go look for something else to do.
I'm just looking to see if I'm going to, I'm going to get that fill in AAPL that I wanted. Hiccups. What was the low today? Oh, I did. Nice. So I'm in it now.
So you did get filled on some Apple 165?
Mm-hmm. That's my entry target. I have more targets. I have more targets lower for adding.
That printed in a 164 handle briefly before being bought back up.
Yep. So I am now an owner of Apple once again.
Richard, I can't even go down that road. I'm absolutely starving. I fast every day. I don't eat breakfast, so I normally don't eat till around lunchtime, and I'm struggling today, dude. It's 9:45 and I'm already hungry. My midday presentation was canceled, so I might get something decent for lunch here, but I can't even think or talk about it right now. It's just gonna make me hangry, frankly.
Yeah, SCFU, you're really putting a good point out there, and this is something that bothers me. I mean, I'm not going to go so far as say it's different levels of censorship, but the soft language they use to describe the things that they're doing never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases. The engagement farming is a little bit different than censorship to me. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to
that's what he did, though.
Oh, okay. I'm referring to his in quotes engagement farming. It's trying to the whole idea engagement farming is a very soft way of putting what they're actually trying to do. They're trying to get rid of the clickbaiters, but they can't just come out there and say that like that because we have to put forth this soft language these days. George Carlin had a really good comedy segment about this. I'd encourage you to look it up. And
I think I know what you're referring to. Actually, I think I've seen that.
And he might actually give you a little bit perspective on how absurd that some of this soft language that we're using these days is, and just to kind of like see through the other side of it and realize that it's just a bunch of BS.
Yeah, I was just trying to make a point here. Diamond hands on the food, drink water. I got some tea here. Stay focused. I'm good. He said that I'm worried that engagement farming seems like a fancy term for censoring clickbaiting. It's censorship regardless. See, I disagree with that because, and the reason, respectfully, of course, the reason I disagree with that is because he's trying to pay people now, right? Like X accounts are trying to actually get paid for their engagement. So if you have someone that's exploiting that pay scale, it makes sense to stop that. I don't think that they're necessarily saying you can't say this. Instead what they're saying is you can't manipulate the service in order to boost your revenue. And I think that is different than censorship. That's just me. But nonetheless, let's go back to some of these stocks here. I know it's my fault. It's my fault for veering off the road here. TRSG, X-Sniper, dude. I'm so glad I didn't take your keyboard, because if I did take your keyboard, you'd be like, this Ryan guy is stopping me from making money, and I'm about to break that keyboard over his head. TRSG, this, I think your entry here was around 8. This now halted again, 1178.
INDO, this one's looking like it's going to try to make a push here. It's got a nice flag formation, and it's getting some volume.
Sarah Sassy, indeed. We occasionally venture down that rabbit hole. We are no strangers to the rabbit hole. That is for sure.
We certainly do enter it. Sometimes look around and go, we don't want to be here, and kind of back our way out.
Yeah, and other times we just make ourselves at home.
Yeah, I mean, All right, INDO still getting some strength here.
By the way, there was someone that was mentioning keeping dark chocolate Hershey Kisses on the desk. Don't keep any food on the desk. That's tip number 1. But one of the things I do, Costco sells these dark chocolate reduced sugar peanut butter cups that actually have more peanut butter, and they are spectacular. It's like 2 grams per cup. I mean, it's something just insanely reduced. It's like 3/4 of what an actual Reese's. I think they're better.
Are they going to make a sandwich at some point?
Reese's?
Yeah.
Maybe.
They have all these different, peanut butter and chocolate products. I'm just wondering if a sandwich, like an ice cream sandwich or something, is on the way.
I'm shocked they don't
Maybe
already
they
have that. Real quickly here. What's going on at Kinder Morgan? Was there news on this that
the paper products company? Or is this?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of something. No. This is this? I'm either thinking of. No, this is
No,
the energy
hang on.
company. This is
Yeah, let
energy.
me
This is
just yeah,
midstream.
yeah, okay. Let me just see if there was news here. Sorry. I was trying to read and answer your question at the same time. Never a good idea. No, I don't really see anything here. It's a nice chart though. KMI, ticker KMI, Kinder Morgan.
There's another company that when you said the ticker, I just was thinking of something else. Let me see if I can bring up that one because there's a big paper products company that's got a similar ticker. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe somebody knows right off the bat what it is I'm looking for.
Voodoo saying,
Okay.
Ryan, curiosity got the better of me. I'm going to check out Fausto trial at 11 a.m. I'll let you know my thoughts. I'd love that. Fausto's the real deal, man. Guy's been around for a while, knows what he's doing.
It's KMB that I was thinking of. That's Kimberly Clark. That's the paper products company. Sorry, I got those mixed up.
All good. I'm curious. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Like I said, I've always liked Fausto, and I think he's sharp. We're going to bring him on more often too. Have him tell you what he's looking at, what he sees out there, things that him and his group are trading. So stay tuned for that. Really appreciate that.
Thanks, guys, for helping me out with that one.
They got your back, man. They got your back.
Hell yes.
Big pop here in Root
and in NVFY.
Man, 370s.
Yeah, it's making its way to 4. What's next? WISA's trying to curl. NVFY might skyrocket.
X Sniper says 7 to 10:20. I'm out. Take my keyboard, dude. Go grab yourself some lunch. Spend some time with your family. You did well today. We'll give you a register ring on the way out there.
Hell yes, brother.
Oh man.
All right.
I don't.
What's up?
There's just nothing. There's just really this really kind of slowed down. This is this feels like a slow Friday to me.
Well, it's probably just going to be that way for the moment, and then later on we'll probably get something going here. WISA is looking pretty interesting right now. We're getting some support from the $7 level. Let's see if that holds, and if it does, it looks like it could try to come back up, but no, it's not looking good at the moment. Here we go. It's coming through 7. Yeah, so that one may or may not work out. CLSK, that one went down to the 200 EMA and bounced. Bitcoin's having a hard time getting up and staying above 65,000.
My scanner is literally, it's not, oh, it finally updated. Huma, maybe we break here. Break the high here on Huma.
Everyone from WISA come over to NVFY. It do be like that sometimes. WISA still holding 7, so we'll see. And let's look at some of these other older ones.
VTNR near the highs here.
It's interesting that Hub C seems to have found a bottom for now, but we'll see if there's anything going on with that later.
BRB 1 sec 13, I'm sorry.
Sure. What else you got? Bitcoin has 64,500 support. Let me take a look at Bitcoin here. I mean, yeah, I can see that. We did have a breakdown from that level, not too long ago, but got support from the 200 EMA on the 5-minute chart. Now we're back into this consolidation again, aren't we? So kind of just trading back and forth between 64.5 and 65, huh? Well, awesome, Fairchild. I'm hoping you guys get some experience out of this, and it's helping you along with your trades, and here to answer some questions if you got them. So absolutely, you're welcome. Kingdom Lamb saying NVFY knife is just a scare, so don't fall for. I get it. Coming back down to VWAP, it looks like with NVFY. Also, the 330 level is looking to be a support area as well. So if I mean, you could be right. If it's if we're going to get that support right about this area, around this area, then we may be trying to move up to 4 again still. But yes, that's 373. I think Ryan or somebody else in chat may have been talking about that as potential level. Ryan, were you saying that for NVFY that 370, 375 is about a resistance area?
Yeah, it was 370. And in fact, I think that while we were up there, it actually flashed some size. 370 had size on it. 373, your intraday high here. So that range in there, definitely a resistance area.
That was a good call. I didn't have that marked off. I have 4 as my next upside target. And I just saw an interesting question here from Jay's Life. Do you guys trade the pool to buy and sell Bitcoin, or do you have a brokerage that you would suggest that would offer me leverage?
Okay, I'll take this one first, 13. If you want to jump in here afterwards, you're welcome to. I do not use Trade the Pool for that. I don't think you can buy Bitcoin and Trade the Pool. It's for stocks, U.S. stocks more specifically. And I also cannot give you a suggestion on a broker that would offer you leverage because I don't have any experience with that, and I'm not keen on giving suggestions or endorsements on things that I'm not familiar with, either first or second hand. Remember, with Bitcoin, for me, I'm not a trader of Bitcoin. I'm a hodler of Bitcoin, so I don't trade the action back and forth. I use Coinbase to store my Bitcoin. I've heard really good things about Coinbase Pro, but can't really tell you. Don't know if they have leverage there, Jay.
So in my experience, what I've learned is that these brokerages don't actually hold Bitcoin. So if you're buying Bitcoin from them, you're actually just buying it on paper. I think that's something that you're going to want to look into when you check out brokerages, because if they're just if they have a position, or if they have like some kind of holdings, and you're just trading that, and they're just giving you Bitcoin on paper, well, then you're not really holding on to the asset. If you're looking for the actual asset, you might need to go to an actual crypto exchange and do it that way. I don't know about what kind of leverage a brokerage is going to offer you, but I think that's a good starting point, is if you want to see if they do allow you to get the actual crypto itself, or if you're just getting it on paper. I think that's the starting point you want.
Well, it looks like some other folks in the chat here have some suggestions. Take it with a grain of salt on there, but there you go. There you go, Jay. Good question.
No, I'm just using what my my broker is using, or is offering. I'm using Webull, although I'm maybe considering switching since I've given the news recently. INDO. Looks like we're going here.
GME gearing, by the way. I think someone in here mentioned GME earlier today. It is kind of pushing up off the VWAP. Jay Breed say buy a Trevor or a Ledger. Yeah, I was thinking about some cold storage device or something like that. But you know what? You know what has me worried about that, dude? Misplacing it. You know how many thumb drives I've lost because I'm just a moron? Like the last thing I'd want to do is lose my Bitcoin because I'm dumb. Like that would, I guess I could put it in my safe. I guess I could do that.
Kingdom Lamb, there was a headline that they're being investigated for some ties to China.
Let's see. And so your advice then is to pull it off the Coinbase exchange, huh?
There goes
Put it into cold storage.
INDO looking for 515.
That just broke the intraday high from this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's the Trezor, $60. Ledger Nano Plus is 80.
Russell, I trade every day that the market's open, unless I'm on some kind of vacation. And if there's nothing, I mean, on days like this where I guess I need to understand what you mean by full time. You mean like, am I sitting at my desk from when the market opens till it closes? Not most days. I get up and do other things. It's usually the morning and afternoons where I see a lot of price action, which is what I want. I don't like slow moving for trading. I like slow moving for longer term investing. But as As far as to answer your question, if full time by you mean am I here from market open to market close? No, I do trade every day, but I'm not at my desk all the time. All right. So what did we get with INDO here?
And Reddit, real quick, earlier, Jay Rice mentioned Reddit moving up here. This was a great mention. Reddit kept moving up here, actually stayed right above its VWAP. Very, very orderly move here in Reddit. I've been very clear. I don't really like it long term, but worth noting here, really decent move. Jay with a really early call on this one. So
SCFU, that was great. Rolling down the street, trading Indo, sipping on gin and juice.
There you go.
He's got his mind on his money, that's for sure. We did get right up to 515 on that, so that was perfect. That was right where the pre-market high was. So could see some pullback here, or we could just shoot right through this level and go up to 560. Russell, is it like my job? I mean, I don't work for anybody, so this is I would say this, baby. I would say this is my this isn't really my main income. This is just to supplement it. My main income I do through longer term investing, but this is for knowledge, entertainment, additional money like this. I find day trading fun. It's enjoyable to me, but I have to also remember that I'm using real money.
Lion Atlas, thanks for all your contributions this week, my man.
Yes.
You promised me you have a great weekend, and we're going to see you back next week on Monday. All right. Stay green, stay safe.
Yeah. Awesome. Take care, Lion Atlas.
Emiliola. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Ryan and 13, what got you guys into trading? Well, gosh, there's a number of things that really kind of got me into trading. I mean, if I think all the way back to when I was a kid, I'd have to give you the corny answer and say Wall Street. I mean, that movie was awesome. I loved that movie as a kid. And the other thing is that both of my parents were teachers. So I always kind of had an interest to get into investments and finance just kind of on my own, just because that my parents weren't into that. And some of my friends' family were when I was younger. Once I saw Wall Street, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And then once I really got out of college and started entering the workforce, I wanted to earn money with the goal of being able to invest my own money as another potential revenue stream. And eventually I worked at multiple banks, including Bank of America, by the way, and I just hated my life. I wanted to do something different. So I kind of dove into this, realized I don't have the kind of funds to be able to just do this alone. I had to do something else. Thankfully, I was able to get into Benzinga eventually, where I could kind of do what I wanted to do, but then also have a daily job that kept me involved in what I was looking at every day. And I think that was a really safe move for me.
For me, I think it's because I learned pretty early on that this whole world revolves around money. And I wanted to have an edge and understand how the whole world works and how its relationship with money works. And that got me into investing. And from that step, I went to the day trading. And it wasn't until the pandemic that I really started. I was already investing, but I didn't get into day trading until the pandemic started. And I was finding myself at home with a lot less to do. And I found Benzinga's stream with pre-market prep, and I started watching that, and it got me thinking, well, I could still try to bring in some more money since I need to occupy my time with something. And so I started. I got a brokerage and started trading and listened to pre-market prep every morning, and started gaining some knowledge and practicing, and eventually I here what I am today, and I just did it. I've been doing it every day ever since. So,
yeah, there's another part.
Perfect.
There's another part 13's leaving out there that I'm going to go ahead and mention, even without his permission. The other thing is that once he started, after he was doing pre-market prep, he was active in Benzinga's community events, whether it be just a regular chat room, the happy hour show. One of the things that we did here is we started the happy hour show because there seemed to be an appetite for market participants that wanted to discuss things in kind of an open form. And like 13 was saying, with so many people being locked at home for COVID, there was a pool of these people. And so we wanted to kind of fill that gap. And 13 from the beginning of that, I think maybe the first couple of episodes, it was me doing most of the talking. God, I remember some of those, man. After I ended it, I was like, holy smokes, I'm tired. And it was a couple of people in there, 13 included, as well as a private equity guy that's in there that really started to kind of advance it and make it so we weren't just looking at charts and looking at potential key levels and actually discussing fundamentals and things that affected other market things. And it became more and more valuable. It grew on itself, and 13 was a huge part of that. So he's been in here for a while.
Yeah, I really do appreciate what the things that I learned in happy hour. It's one of the I attribute it to being one of the biggest reasons why I been making certain good financial decisions over the past several years. Being able to get a home at relatively low rates. I can't begin to tell you how much I threaded that needle, but because of the conversations we were having in that group, I was able to take advantage of it at the right time.
So a lot of hard work. I know that was kind of a long-winded answer there for you, but there was a lot of hard work, a lot of grinding, a lot of failure and success on the way there.
We could probably spend the entire live trading talking about our whole journey to where we're at right now. And there's a lot of ups and downs, and you might learn a lot from it. That, even if you have bad days, don't, just give up and be done. You're going to have bad days. Just know when to stop having a bad day. And I'm looking at INDO and just thinking to myself, I knew I got out of this a little too early.
560 looks to be maybe the next spot here.
Yes, that's the one I have.
490, was this pullback to 490 here? What's this? Yeah, 496. So this wick candle, these top wicks here, I would say 490, 495, your support area there, though.
Did Benzinga have swing live stream, longer swings? So you're looking to see if they have the whole session of a live stream where they do swing trades. Is that just swing trades only? Is that what you're asking, Swede?
Yeah, we don't. Mitch tried to do a swing trading show. I don't know how successful it actually was. Yeah, stay focused. Yeah, this does look like a cup here. I wonder if this actually stops at this high a day test and then maybe goes through it, maybe cup and handle on that. Yeah, I do see that here. Yeah, the whole thing with the streams, the shows team is constantly trying to evolve, right? They're constantly trying to come up with new content. Streams that last all day and focus on one thing, generally more difficult to do. A lot of us here at BZ, not just myself, but pretty much anyone that's on the team, we wear many hats. And it's not just one thing that we do all the time. So it would be difficult then to do things that, take the entire market session. So what we do is we have a bunch of these different segments. We try to bring other people into the ecosystem. We don't want it to just be the same faces every day. It's why when I asked you folks for feedback, some of the feedback you guys gave me is you want other kind of guests in here, very much like pre-market prep does. I mean, they bring on awesome. I mean, this morning was unreal. That pre-market prep show today was awesome. Christian Fromhertz is a dude, like straight up. And so is Dennis. So it was just, it's tough to do something that spans all day. That's the long and short of it.
Yeah, probably get some folks from chat in here. What do you think?
Folks from chat and where? I don't understand.
In here, a new face.
Oh, you mean folks from folks from the chat to join us? Yeah, sure, we can do that. I'm also trying to get guests, obviously, like Anne Marie and Fausto and all of that.
I could shave all this off. Yet have a new face.
I'll let you decide that. SOXS looks like it did get kind of rejected here. Stay focused. That was a really good call. Let's see if this ends up coming back in and then going through it again. That would be something.
All right, what are we doing, Spy? Are we turning around here?
SPY still staying under. We're actually making lower highs now off that 500 rejection.
Oh, okay. Let's see what we're doing here. It does look like it wants to go lower. I'm not so sure. Well, I'll just put that on hold for now. It's just going to consolidate. I still think it's going to do what I said earlier. We're going to bounce around and go sideways.
And folks, I know we normally go to Anne-Marie at this point. Anne-Marie had something going on. She said she was going to try to make it back here, but in the event that we can't, 13 and I will just go here unless Zunaid has something that he wants to tell us.
We kick it for a bit. What's up?
STFU, I called them the same thing earlier. That's funny. The face beams.
I just like, see, I'm missing one of these layouts. Like, where is producer Alyssa? I'm missing one of the layouts that lets us all be on with Trade the Pool. Yeah, that's not it.
Oh, Jonathan Cooper saying
you just had something there.
Saying
yeah, but this has pro. I wanted the brokerage text kit. Sorry, 13. We're running you over right now.
No, that's okay. I was just mentioning what. Oh, okay. Tesla shares are trading lower after the company reportedly called a lot of Cybertruck
back. Yeah,
I didn't see that news earlier. That's not
whoa,
good.
MNDR, good call here. Sarah, great call here. MNDR, big pop up to 20, almost hit 28 there when we retraced some of that stick, but nice move here.
When does this one stop? That's amazing. Yeah, great call.
Zane, what do we got coming on here? First of all, how are you?
Good.
What do we got coming up?
Yeah. So I know, Anne-Marie and you guys have a show, but I understand she has a couple of challenges at the moment. So at 11:30, we're going to have options. Sandra is going to hang out. We had a nice AMD play a couple of weeks ago. That's definitely doing very well. Quite in the money. We had a nice little spread. So we'll have her back on and see what other plays she has on deck for us.
All right. Well, that sounds like fun. I appreciate you kicking it in the meantime, dude.
CLSK.
Absolutely.
CLS, this thing has been wild today. CLSK, big time dollar swing ranges here. Looks like CLSK is trying to break the top off here.
Lynn is saying Fausto pick.
Yeah, he talked about this yesterday. Yes, that's correct. He was trading this one yesterday.
Now, it just hit we're close to the intraday high or the intrasession high. So 1732, maybe we'll see some resistance. How's that butter chicken?
What?
How's that butter chicken?
Man, I haven't had butter chicken in quite some time. I'm so low energy today. I don't know what it is.
It's Friday is what it is. You've probably been preparing for the draft next week, which is going to consume a ton of our energy. So I don't think anything's out of the ordinary, Z. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I think I'm still catching up on some rest after CCC, and now we've got the draft.
How was that? I think I asked you that the other day. It was good, right?
Yeah, dude, it was good. It was great to kind of meet the folks I've been working with. I know you and I still got to chop it up. We get to Detroit. You're going for the draft. That's right. Are you going to be back for the quarterly or no?
No, I don't think I am, because I'm also going back to Detroit to play in a charity golf outing on a Saturday. And I think that's also like a week or two after the quarterly. So I'm going in for events around it.
I got you.
Are you going in for that?
Don't know. I'll talk to HR and see what's what.
Yeah, we definitely got to chop it up.
All right, you chatty Cathy's. Listen, we got INDO popping, and we got HUSA following. Man, Swede was absolutely on point with this one. Sorry to be rude. I just wanted to put these out here.
No, it's okay. It's actually really good timing too, because we got Anne-Marie available now as well. So I know we're running short here on time. I am going to just kind of wrap it up here, if that's okay with you folks. I will say this was really good stuff here this week across the board. Really good stuff this week. So looking forward to doing this again next week. Have a good weekend, folks.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Z and 13, leave room now for Anne Marie. Let's go ahead and check it out. Anne Marie, how are you doing here today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I was just going to say, though, please save us. No pressure, but please save us because this market really dried up. It really dried up. We had some stuff here early. We were looking at SOXS, actually made a decent trade on that, missed one of the bigger moves here. But it really feels like things kind of dried up here. So hopefully, and I'm just kidding about saving us. I know you can't control that. But yeah, what do you got for us today?
Well, one of the first things I want to share is why it feels like the market has sort of stalled out. And there are a couple of things going on. And those are, one, we have options expiry, monthly options expiry, and weekly options expiry. But we have a gigantic put wall that is sitting at the SPX 5000 level and the SPY 500 level. And so it is incredibly critical that price action recovers in that zone in the near term. And so what we could see is if by 2:30 the traders can't get up above 500 on the SPY, that we're going to have a watershed movement where the price action will fade very rapidly. And so the key takeaway there is the following. Do not size up big in any form or fashion because price action could bounce dramatically and move you up. So the short alert, or bounce or fade dramatically into much deeper support. And so that's really what we have going on with that space. On top of that, because we've got the prior Magnificent Seven all reporting essentially next week, right? In that big pocket of, we've got Microsoft, Apple, the whole group of them next week. People are a little bit tentative for positioning because those have been the market drivers over the last several months.
And what's interesting about that, we actually discussed this earlier here. The Fed is now in a blackout period until May 2nd. So they've been talking what seemingly every day recently, and that's been driving things. Now we have them in a blackout period. And as you were saying, starting with next week, we're going to have earnings reports that are ultimately probably going to be the catalyst for whatever movement we get here. So really good stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So in terms of what we can position today, it might be good to see what's fading and what's holding. We talked a little bit about the overall positions. I know someone said last time we were on together on Tuesday, hey, Boeing is falling out of bed. The expiration was May. What's going on right now? And believe it or not, Boeing's been up for the last 4 trading days when the broad market has been down. And so what does this tell us? This is relative strength in a weak market. Now, Boeing did have, I don't know what it looked like, 100 days to the downside. No, literally, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 down days in a row. Savage. Absolutely savage. But it's holding this 170. And so the question is this just a relief before it collapses again? Or is it actually holding some floors? Now, Boeing is part of the war engine, the war complex.
Yep. Indeed.
And so there might be a reason that's holding a floor, RTX and Lockheed and all of those guys probably not doing the way the broad market is doing. And so when we look for positioning where we go, gosh, is there anything, you look for that relative strength. that strength that says, well, who's up today in a down market? And so, or who's up this week in a down week market? More importantly, what I wanted we had talked a little bit about recapping some of the positions that we talked on. Would you like to look at some new positions and just maybe next week we go over the old position?
Sure.
What's your vibing?
Sure. We can do that. We got about 13 minutes here. So whatever you think we can cover in that time. Yeah, let's do it. Never a bad move to go with new positions. Right. That's something that I've learned here. So never a bad move. All right.
So let's take a peek at how Netflix is falling off the rails.
I was just going to say, and as far as Netflix goes, we had good earnings yesterday.
Yes.
We had them also good earnings, good guidance, but we had them tell us that they're no longer going to report sub numbers.
That's right.
So one of the things that I said here at the outset, Anne-Marie, is, I know that they said this here, but maybe there's something else going on with Netflix, right? One of the things that we've been waiting for is when stocks report good earnings and then don't trade up on those good earnings, that often signals a change in sentiment. Maybe that's what we're seeing here on Netflix. But of course, they also gave us that news about not reporting sub numbers anymore. So it's the calculus for me is figuring out how much is playing into that. But anyway, I think Netflix is really a good thing to look at here. Did you want to share your screen?
Oh, of course. Yes. Lovely. I keep forgetting to do that.
That's okay. We're just out here having so much fun. Sometimes we forget what we need to be doing.
Yes. I like looking at your face more than these candles. So here we go.
I will take that as a compliment. I don't know how else to take that, frankly. So
here we have the daily look at Netflix, and this is what's got me very interested. I'm a bit of a simpleton, as many of us know. I'm going to look at this box here. So we had a move that came on a prior earnings event. And the volume on that, this is the high volume spike for the recent edge. And so it gives us a support zone right at the top of this wick. I'm going to shove this up a wee bit because we're going to look at the highest volume event visible to us and the low edge down at 537. So my suspicion is the following. The market has to decide whether Netflix is at a fair buying price or if it needs to congest. And so what prices normally do when they've been really big earners and they fade or they spike, they will congest. And so my suspicion is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have 20 trading days of price action that sits between 580 and 540, essentially. I think Netflix is going to sit right there. So the question will be, well, how are you going to benefit from that? And of course, I'm sounding like a one-trick pony. It's the short iron condor. Unless you decide, hey, I want to bank on this lower edge and there's a butterfly. So we'll go through both of those opportunities. And I think that will take care of a fair bit of our time.
Perfect.
All right. So if you're looking for the downward sideways action. Let me move this up because I've made these really big so we can all see them.
Yeah, I was going to say the first thing I do when that happens on my end is I collapse the underlying as well. So
yeah,
because we don't need that.
Like mine. Oh, look at that. Today's volume, bunch of calls, 157,000 calls, 142,000 puts. That's very interesting. So if you're thinking downside, everybody's thinking, oh, and buy the dip. Well, the whole time, all Netflix is doing is falling out of bed. And so to me, that sends a little warning signal, right? Just like you said, good earnings, bad behavior, time to watch out. So my thought is 560 to 540. This is a broken wing butterfly. Now, let me explain why. A broken wing butterfly shows me $20 to the upside, but $40 to the downside, right? I'm thinking it's going to hold 540. I don't think it's going to 500. If you want equal weighted measures, you would go to 520, and the cost would be 305 until
That
May.
is dramatic change in the cost there. That
Exactly.
was 33 to 305. So
Yes. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I like this idea of the broken wing butterfly, but maybe I try a strike that's a little further away. So instead I go to 525, and then I go all the way to 485. It's still very expensive. The price action must collapse there. So let's go to June.
well, I think that's still a broken wing, right? So you've
Yes,
got
it's still a broken
30
wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, still a broken wing. And not by much. So maybe if you went to 460, no, it would still be very, very expensive if you went all the way down to 525. I think 530 to 540 is key. Notice the further away you go, you end up getting a credit. Now, you could get a credit, but if this falls out of bed, you're mortgaging your house to make the margin. So
We don't want
wanna
that. We don't want that.
You don't want to do that. So the 540 to 500, look at this. I moved it to June, and instead of being 33 cents as a debit, it's now $2 as a credit.
Okay.
So if you look at this, what's very interesting, and let me pull up, let me get something up. I want to show you guys this. Yeah, we got time. So we are going to look at a put butterfly for Netflix. We're going to expand it super fast. We're going to go long put butterfly. We're going to do it for Netflix. And we're going to use June. And we're going to do this 540, 560, and then 500. This is the loss. If you held it to expiration and this stock fell out of bed, your max loss would be $1,800 per position. Your max profit would be $2,100. But here's the beautiful thing. If the price action just moves all the way here and it turns around and moves up, then you lock in that credit that you get, the $200, because this is a net credit. If it begins to rotate and it gets near the 540 to 560, you can get out, and your profit is going to be the combination of what you collected plus whatever moves into the other strike. So you might look at it and go, oh, it's almost 1-to-1. And if you were doing, if you did 20, if you did this, you could say, hey, my net debit it's going to cost me $2, and my max profit is, 8 times that, right? So you might be going, well, maybe I go for this one. The difference is the probability of winning when the spread widens. Do you see how fat that triangle gets?
Yep.
The wider you move this, the fatter the region to make profit. And so the fatter the region to make profit, the more likely it is that you will make profit versus lose. And so it's always that string, that bubble that goes more risk, more reward, less risk, less reward. So that really is this overall position here, the 560 to 540. If you wanted to just make it a little bit tighter. You could do it for 10-cent credit, and there's not nearly as much risk. So that is a great way to do it. The next thing that you could do is the iron condor, right? Because we're thinking, hey, it's going to be, let's go to the chains, scroll it down. We're thinking it ought to hold 500 easily. We could go to May, and we could end up saying, you know, how about I use the 500 to, whoa, that doesn't give me hardly anything. The 500 to 495, and then, you know, oh my gosh, this thing is absolutely collapsing. It's totally falling out of bed. And maybe 600 to 605, and that ends up giving us a position that gives us $1.46 of credit, which is not bad, really, to sit in this space. I like this position. June takes, sometimes I go, wait, I like it. But take a look at the delta, negative 0.8. So it's 99.2% likely that this expires out of the money. So the two of them together give you a pretty nice, you could put both of these positions on. One gives you a complete credit for having the iron condor, and the second one also is giving you a credit, but if it goes, you've got the opportunity to make, you know, $2,000 to the upside.
Pretty awesome. And then obviously with it getting a credit there, yeah, that's really intriguing. I like that setup too, Anne-Marie. Way to go.
Yeah, looks really, really good. And this is in a great place because it's sitting where volatility is still a little high, so we get to collect some premium.
Mm-hmm.
And then we really don't know which way the stock's going to go. So we have to give it cushion to breathe. And so, yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
I like this setup. I'll say, even with a truncated time here, Anne-Marie, you're able to put something together for us. Really, really like this. Really, really like this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Listen, I wish you are the hardest working man on YouTube television. So
Hey,
I wish you a
No.
relaxing weekend.
No.
Okay, so
Zunaid's not having any of that.
No. Second.
Okay, can we have it as a tie? We'll leave it as a tie. Because
I'm no longer 14. Ties or no. Nope, not doing it.
Oh my God, that's so
Zunaid's spicy today. He's having some trouble with that. He's having some trouble.
God.
Anyway,
Ryan works hard though. Being on camera from 9 to 11:30 isn't
that's
easy.
exhausting.
Yeah,
it's exhausting.
So I'm on Central Time. So I actually start my workday about 6:45. I'm on camera by 8, and I'm normally off here by 10:30, 11, and then I do it again in the afternoon.
You can have it.
So yeah, it's tiring.
Yeah.
It's tiring. Yeah. But you know what? It's my favorite aspect of the job. I tell you guys all the time how much I love the community and working with other people, and that's what this role allows me to do. You're not going to hear a complaint out of me. Although I am a harder worker than Zunaid. Okay. Take care.
That's good. I'm busy getting haircuts. Anne-Marie, thank you so much. I did take a screenshot of some of the plays you have, so maybe we can spin up an article, but that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Zunaid, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, see, I'm hardworking too.
Yeah,
now
I got to put my foot in my mouth, Zunaid. Thanks a lot.
You're behind this. You're the man behind the curtain, man.
I'm just clicking. I'm just clicking stuff, I make things happen. But no, I appreciate both of you. Happy Friday. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll catch up with you.
Likewise. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's go ahead and continue on about the option side of things. We're going to go ahead and bring on Sandra. Had her on, every Friday we have her on. And then, of course, 2 weeks ago, we put on a lovely play on AMD. It was up about 25% or so, I think, after the first week. And I know about yesterday or so, it was up 50%. And now you also have AMD down about 3.5%. So let me go ahead and bring on Sandra. What is going on?
Hello. How are you? How was Florida?
Great. Florida was good. We talked to 44 Oops, nope. That's what I get for trying to figure out my next screen. Florida was good. I got a chance to interview 44 executives. So it was pretty cool to kind of get insights from everyone in the cannabis space, from like the real estate market, the retail market, the legislatory side, the accounting side. Fun stuff for sure. I'm actually going to, share my charts. You can go ahead and start sharing yours. I'm in a Tesla play at the moment. It's not an options trade. However, for those of you that are just kind of new to the stream and, may not be familiar with how I trade, I like to trade options and equity, but I trade equity mainly so I can show it on screen. So what you're seeing here is 100% real money, right? Nothing fake here whatsoever. I'm short Tesla at the 149.97 average price, short 300 shares. And I've got my buys in terms of profit targets there. And I've also got my stop losses up here as well. So I'm risking approximately $300 or so to make about 4 to 5, if assuming all my profit targets go ahead and get hit. So we can talk about Tesla. And the reason I took it is just because you have the previous close and the psychological level of 150 there. So that's what I prefer. I'd really love to see this VWAP break, and then maybe we can get some downside movement. But let me go ahead and pull up your charts here, and you can give us an update on that AMD trade that we took.
Yeah. So this is great because I was kind of keeping you up to date. And then as I was looking at it, I said, gosh, the market's getting weaker and weaker. So let's just stay into it. So as you can see right now, we are, let's get over here. There we go. You could see that, when we began this trade, we were right here, and we just took an at the money credit spread. And so what ended up happening, it started to move down, and we made a little bit of money. We were about right here, and now we're right here. And you can see that the framework of this trade on the analyze graph on Thinkorswim, as long as we stay inside this area for the duration of the trade, which is, let's see, what do we have this trade at? May 17th.
Yeah.
So as long as this stays within this area, then we pocket the $200.
Yeah.
And so it really is the interesting thing about debit spreads and credit spreads is that time value. And so with credit spreads, you're earning money as price is just sitting there as an example. But as long as you're in that framework and you don't mind waiting for profit, you can get the whole 200. Right now, we're at about $140.
Nice. That's awesome. And now, when do you plan on I know you said May 17th is when we obviously have expiration time. So we still have a little less than a month remaining, as it is the 19th of April right now. But do you plan on, is there a profit target that you have? Because we did just break 150, right?
Yes.
So we're below 150 on AMD here as well. Do you have a spot price in mind to go ahead and take your gains, or a percentage, or are you like, what's your game plan here?
So I typically have a system with credit and debit spreads, and it's about 50%. So if I lose 50%, I'm out of the trade. If I win about 50%, I'm in the trade. This was just fun to keep because at the time, we were explaining it and we put it on. And so it's nice to be able to kind of get in touch with that trade, even though we put this on, I think it was 2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago, exactly.
So in 2 weeks, if you don't mind, kind of just, putting on a very easy trade to hold, we're walking away with almost $150. I'll probably end up closing this today.
Yeah. And for the folks that may want to keep it on because they're expecting further downside, right?
Yeah.
Is there a leg that you would close and open up again just to kind of minimize your risk and your gains? Or is it just like, hey, I'm either staying in the way that it is, or I'm getting out the way that it is?
Well, I feel like we have such a buffer, right? I mean, we started this, our break even point is at 173.
Yeah.
And so really, I mean, we have, a lot of room here. We could just sit on it and collect the 200.
Okay.
But, it's often nice just to, kind of.
So that's the max profit is 200, and we're already at 150. So it's kind of like, hey, $50, is it really worth the risk of giving up those gains and whatnot? Awesome. Cool.
Right. So that's the way that I'm looking at this trade, but it was fun to do it with you on that.
Yeah.
Well, end of it.
Let's see what else we can find. You've got Reddit, right? That's kind of been coming down. Well, let me ask you this. Are there any trades that you currently just put on maybe today? So that might be a bit more recent for our viewers to kind of take a look at and see if it fits their risk parameters. If not, we can maybe talk about different charts that we were looking at, just like we did with AMD.
Sure. So let's see here. We ended up every day we take a credit spread, and today we took an SPX 0 DTE credit spread, and so got about a 50-cent credit here, and really still looking good here. So really, you can see that. Let's see here if I can. We're doing really good on the credit spread. So
Yeah.
this is, typically we close out with 5 or 10 cents on the day, but this
Mhm.
is an excellent credit spread. We made our money. It's not even 11:30 yet. So
Yeah.
that was a good one. The other ones that I was actually taking a look at to discuss with you today, one was coin.
Okay.
And on coin, we were looking at, we kind of give out levels for both. So depending on, if it's bullish or bearish, you can kind of get the sense of, I have some trigger levels, and if it passes a certain point, I can get into it. So here it was a put at 218.07. So really looking at a break, and you can automate this trade, of course, under Thinkorswim. We got some positive ticks coming into the market right now.
Yeah.
But you can see that, 218, we're at 219 now. So let me put this on a 5-minute for an intraday trade. Yeah, so looking for a break here. And if we end up breaking the 218 level, really looking to come down to this consolidation band right here, which would be around today's low. I don't actually like to hit the low because I think we often sometimes get close to it, but we don't necessarily hit it for maybe a double bottom or a break
Yeah.
of the bottom.
Yeah.
So you could see our last pivot low is at 216. So I would probably say 216.50 here would be my level to take profit at for just a intraday trade if we end up breaking below 218.
Gotcha. Okay. And the way, so I see you have the way you played out, and apologies if I missed it. How would you do this in the option side of things? It's like, how would you structure this? Would it be, yeah, I'd love to kind of see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, I would just, since I'm looking for the break at 218, I'm looking at if I did an at the money as an example, I could take the 217.50 and just buy a put for $164 per contract. If I wanted to go basically towards my target, then the option price will be cheaper. So my target was around 216.15. So still, you could take a 215 right here, an 89 put.
Yeah.
And so you could see the price difference between the two strikes. And then that allows the person to, kind of weigh, hey, do I want to take an at the money? Which if we took a look at the delta right now, the at the money for today, 0 DTE, is $37. So for each dollar that this goes into your favor, you're either making $37 or $36. And if it goes against you, then you're making that amount, then you're losing that amount. So you could either take the 35 delta, which is at the money, or the 22 delta. And, that kind of gives you a sense of how much you want to, how much you can afford and how much you feel comfortable with. With 0 DTEs, I don't like to get too far out of the money because they end up depreciating a lot quicker, and we're already close to noon. But if you wanted to do a quick intraday trade, I think either the at the money at the 54 or the 37 would be an easy trade to take if it breaks that 218 level. Doesn't mean it will, but if we get above 227.25, that was actually my call for this. If we got much higher, but it's not moving as aggressively.
Now you've got Jay in the chat asking about NVIDIA and how you would play that, especially with earnings season that's kicking off. We already had Netflix that went and reported yesterday. So what I'd love to do is you don't have to actually place the trade, but I'd love to kind of see it, how you would put it on, especially
Yeah,
because
let's take a look at that.
Screenshot
That's
and
great.
maybe you can write an article about it.
All right. So let's see, looking here. When is their earnings coming up?
Yeah, here, I can tell you.
So probably April 21st. We're getting close to it next week.
Yep. Let me see exactly the date. I've got May 22nd is what I've got.
So
Chad, do you have anything different? Yeah, I've got May 22nd is what I have.
Okay, so we have plenty of time. Let me take off these patterns here. So what I would be looking at is I would go over to May 22nd on the tab.
Okay.
And I do this a lot for earnings plays because I think the market makers, they're relatively pretty good about not necessarily the direction, but, the plus or minus the amount that they're expecting for the dates. So I often use that a lot. So if we go to May 17th, is that what you said?
They are going to report May 22nd, so we'll have to go out till the 24th at least.
Okay. So if we take the 24th, there's $129 plus or minus. So on that, I would probably go to my day chart, take a look at where we're at, go to 129 bucks here. And the easiest trade that I typically like to take is a butterfly on either end of it. It's really inexpensive. So if we go, as an example, $130 from today, and we do 120 to, let's see, about 950, then we could go to our trade tab, go to the May 24th, go over to the 950s on the call side. Let me put this under butterfly. Since Anne Marie was just talking about the broken wing, I liked her setup.
Yeah, that was for Netflix, as they reported yesterday.
Yeah. So because this is so far dated and because it's so far away from us, we could actually make this a lot wider. Instead of just $5. We could go, make it like a $20 or a $30 butterfly. So if we said 950, let's see. How about a 930? We'll make it $20 wide. And then from the 950 down below, we're going to go $20. So let's see. What was the 9? I got two 930s there. Sorry about that. 980.
You're good. On
the top side. All right. So, we're actually getting a credit here. Let me see. So that's 30. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, 970. There we go. So it's $60. Now, if we put this on which is really relatively cheap, right? So if we go to the Analyze graph, you can see that 130 points away is over here. It's not showing the actual butterfly. It could be just because it's slow.
Right.
But we have, we got the date up there correctly. So if this ends up moving higher, as you can see, there is the butterfly. If we actually get into the butterfly towards the, end of, we can move this. Let's move our theoretical calculator. And that just kind of threw me off. Hold on.
No worries.
So let's take a look at like May 17th for our theoretical. If price was to get, starting to get close to our butterfly, you could see that we would be up on that day $104. Now, if we actually move into the butterfly, and remember this type of trade, you need the theta burn. So the theta burn works with it. If you get close to, and you can see this is time decay. On Thinkorswim, the time decay doesn't show up as well as it should actually. But you can see that if we end up in the middle of the butterfly, we're at $435 on the day of expiration. And if it actually closes within the butterfly, then you're at over $1,000. So the risk versus reward is incredible. It's a very small risk. What did I say? $65 for potential to make 400 to 1,000 if the market makers are right on their expected move. And this was to the upside. So you could actually have one on the upside for the calls, one on the puts, and it's relatively cheap, but you have a nice little play there.
Now, I assume with the risk of say 60 or so bucks, and you've obviously got, profit target of approximately 400 or $1,000. Does it show, I see percentages, but does it show like the likelihood of, hey, this trade ending profitable, right? Because obviously you're getting such great odds. I assume the likelihood of something like that happening would be lower,
Yes.
just or else you'd be getting,
Yes,
you
the
know.
butterflies are one of those, whenever you have a low risk versus a high reward, the probabilities of that actually happening, is a very low. So that's why they're giving you such a reward. Have we hit these? We hit these quite a bit. And so if you start to, just practice these and start simulating ones on some of the trades that you're looking at right now, I think it'll be interesting to see how they progress. The other thing too is as time value starts to expire and this starts to get closer. So if I put this, let's just say at the end of April, in a couple weeks, and here's our price. So in a couple weeks, you can see that we're already starting to make money. We're making 30. So the pink is what you would be making on that day for the theoretical price.
Mhm.
And then the blue money over here indicates what it looks like when it actually expires. So as you can see, as this starts to move, you're actually making money as it's getting towards the butterfly. And so that's just something to take in consideration, that you can make a little bit of profit while it just sits there and starts to go up, let's just say, in this indication if we were to get a trend change.
Gotcha. Okay.
And vice versa for the puts. So that's kind of a fun trade I like to do.
Okay. Gotcha. And of course, that is going to be about a month or so out, with earnings not being for a minute here. I'm still in my Tesla trade here, still waiting. It's kind of flirting with me here. Let me kind of put my charts up, and we'll put yours back up here in a second.
And by the way,
Yeah,
for
what's up?
those butterflies, that
Yeah.
a couple months out is kind of, longer dated. It certainly makes putting on a 20 wide really cheap.
Yeah.
But you can do those butterflies when the options are real expensive.
Mhm.
And let's say it's like, a day before and
Yeah.
everybody is putting trades on for, the options.
Right.
You can put these butterflies on, again, very cheap because you're selling two of those, options in the middle of that butterfly, which really holds nice when you're buying expensive options because you're selling two of them. So it helps to get into a
Gotcha.
position like that.
What we might need to do is whenever I think we've got Google, Tesla. When is that on next week? Here, let's do this. Actually, I will go ahead and put it on. I'll put on one trade. Give me one second. Let me load up my.
Yeah, which one are you
Thinkorswim
looking at?
here. Let me see what we've got in terms of earnings. I think we have Tesla, don't we? Yeah, we have Tesla on the 23rd, which means that is on. So let's do this.
Okay.
Tesla's on the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. I'm loading up my Thinkorswim right now. I will put on one trade. And then let me see where my bias is in terms of, hey, where is it going to go? Right.
Okay.
Where do you think, chat? Is it going up or is it going down? Or what would you say is kind of like the best way to play while you're looking at the chart while I'm pulling up my Thinkorswim? If you were looking at the chart, Sandra, what would you kind of say, hey, this is where, you would put on a trade and I can put that trade on?
So, I really do consider earnings, they're kind of like lottos, so this is April 23rd. Let's see here. You can see I have some stuff programmed in already.
Yeah.
We're at a crucial area of support here. And, Tesla's like one of those stocks that always seems like for earnings, they kind of always do pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So in this last earnings, you can see that we actually did not do very well at all. Got a little pop afterwards, but not very much. Yeah, Tesla really has broken down a lot of support areas here. So
Got a trade.
I would probably wait. Actually, I would probably wait until a couple days before to see how the week is going. If the week ends up, breaking above its point of control, which is right over here, it's that white line that you can barely see. I think it's right there, 152. So if it stays below that 152 area, it's going to be going down because you can see that this right here is for next week. So our weekly point of control for next week is 140. And on the high end, it's at 158. So you could put a butterfly here, a butterfly here. You can also put a credit spread. They'll be super, a debit spread. You could put a call debit spread in this area as well as over here. And then so whatever movement it gets, you'll be prepared for the movement and possibly get a nice gain. The options are going to be really cheap right now because we're in the middle of these two areas.
Yeah.
So that ends up putting on a real profitable, just a real, inexpensive trade to put on. And then you profiting from either of those moves is going to be great because something's going to happen.
Let's do this. My gut tells me it's going to go down, which means I'm going to bet that it's going to go up. So guide me through how I can go ahead and place the trade.
Okay.
To kind of have a spread if it was going to go to the upside, and I'm trying.
Okay. You want to do a put debit spread? We'll
sure.
You see how I'm around the 158 area right here?
I'm trying to pull up. So how do you get your charts? Not your charts, your options, like leg stuff, because I don't really use Thinkorswim, but I'm looking at it right now. You go to
just go to your trade tab. And when you go to your trade tab, you'll see the dates right here.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Okay. Cool. Got it. All right.
Okay. So what did we say? We said
they report next week. So let's do next week.
April 26th. I'm going to put it on too.
Okay.
So
cool.
158. So you could either do a 155 butterfly. You said you wanted this thing to go up. So either a 155 butterfly or a 160.
Okay.
You can make it. You going to do a butterfly or are you doing a credit spread? Which one you want to do?
Let's go ahead and do a spread.
Okay.
Let's do a spread.
So we just go down here to vertical.
Okay.
And we're going to go over to like the 155. Now, the interesting thing about this is you could do two things. You could take the 155, 157. You could buy that for 90 cents. Or you can get actually the at the money and actually start profiting as it's moving down. Because that price is not very much more expensive. It's at 118.
Yeah.
And so you could take the 150 basically, and you're basically saying, you're going on the up end. So you would say, I want this to basically by next week be above 152.50. We've already estimated that it's going to be about 158. So let's take a look at that and see what our profit and loss would be. If we analyze this trade, let's see, Tesla, let me put the right dates in.
Yeah, and the strikes that we're using is what, 150 and 152.50?
Yeah, we're just doing that at the money debit spread. We're saying that this is going to go up, which I'm not really sure that that's going to
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I just want to have something for fun. We'll see which way it goes.
Yeah, let me get my dates in here. What is today?
Today is the 19th.
And let's see. Today is the 19th. Our expiration is April 26th, right? All right. So we're basically saying, hey, we want this to move, and we think it's going to go to the higher end of the expected move. So you could see that if this moved today, we'd make $32. However, for next week, if we move our theoretical calendar over to the 26th, and let's say we're at the 155, 156 area, you could see that we profited about $70. And it actually, at the end of the day, we could make up to 130. So we put in 119, I think I said 118, or 120. And we have the opportunity of making about 130. So it's kind of a 1-to-1. And if we end up, it just, races up there as an example, and you just want to take your profits, you can make about $70, $75.
Okay, let me go ahead and let me check something out here. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So let me share my
Yeah, I'm going to put this on too.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do the put side as well.
Okay. Let me here. I'm trying to make sure I do it right. Okay, so let me know if I got this right in the sense that I've got the buy on the 150 calls. Limit price I've got is 120, I guess, for this debit, and then 152.50. Am I doing this right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, confirm and send. Watch it.
And when you hit the confirm, it'll show you like what your profit and loss is. You did it quick. So if you press
okay.
it one time, it'll actually, give you the order block and say,
Oh,
this
really?
is your
Okay.
max risk, this is your max reward. And so it allows you to do that. So now you have it on the call
Gotcha.
side. I like this reverse psychology that you're doing on yourself.
I mean, look, who really knows, right? Like, I mean, I'm happy with this because at the moment, right, like I just wanted to kind of have something on just for content purposes. But look at that. Our first leg of our wait, what just got filled? Oh, our AMD short just kind of got some money on that. So that's always nice. And then our Tesla short on the equity side is rejecting. We're up $220. So, why not have a little fun? It's Friday.
Absolutely.
So I am.
So I'm going to put on that.
You're going to put it on the downside as well.
I'm going to put it on the put side right now.
Okay.
Just to show. So on the put side, let's see. For next week, our expected move is around the 140 area. Just go to your trade tab, put it on vertical. You could do an at the money. So let's see, 148, 149. We're going to buy it for 48 cents, guys. 48 cents. And you can make this wider, of course, if you wanted to. But if we put it on the analyze graph, just to take a look at it. Let me take off this other one. So here's this one. If we drop down to about 140, you can see that if we lose just what we purchased it for, which was the $45.
Yeah.
If we end up winning, it closes or it's about to close on next Friday, we can make the whole $55. Or as it moves down towards that area, you'll start to profit. So when it gets to about 139, as an example, you're making about $45. So it's a real easy trade to get into. It's defined risk. You're only risking what you pay for it. And because it's hedged, if the market goes sideways or goes against you a little bit, gives you diamond hands. Very easy to hold on to.
Yeah. Awesome. Sweet. I appreciate it. We'll definitely create some content around this one. Now, before I let you go, you've got Jay that's asking, can you explain the TMS wave as they've never used it?
Oh, sure. So, okay. So this foundational is based on the CCI. It's an old school indicator, and it's a momentum indicator. And basically how you use it, by the way, on Thinkorswim, it's called CCI, and you can get it for free. So here is a zero line right here, and this is a momentum-based indicator. So as we're sitting below, that means momentum is low, and momentum drives price. So a lot of people don't know that momentum drives price action. So as long as it's below, we're bearish. Once we break above the zero line, and in my rules, breaks above the 20 EMA, that's when we actually have a trend change. So a lot of people use the fibs above 61.8. They believe that that's the trend change. For me, it's just the 20 because that works very well with me on all the time frames. And so that's what I use for a bullish trade. And then you can see that we've added color and context to it, the wave strength on it, as well as what the IBR is for this stock, and some other tools that just helps us take a look at something, as well as, keep our real estate on our chart if you don't have 6 monitors.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we will know next week if, which one of our trades kind of worked out. I know you've got a bit more of a hedge on that side than I do, so it should be fun. You've got Tesla now 50 cents below the 150 level. But I appreciate you coming on, and we will catch up on how things rock next week.
That sounds great.
Awesome.
Guys, come visit over at tradingmadesimple.org or on X. It's options_Sandy.
Perfect. And you stream, you guys talk trades every day, I believe, right? So that's one benefit.
Gosh, yeah.
To
every
hang
morning,
out with
2 hours in the morning,
Perfect.
We trade and train. On Fridays, it's free. You can follow me on Twitter and get the invite for the free pass on Fridays, and come check us out.
Awesome. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time, chat. We will see y'all at 1:30. We've got a crypto show where Ross went ahead and recommended a Wizard, which was at $1.80 or so. Now it's trading about $6. So that'll be a nice little ego boost for us to talk about. Yeah, fun times. Crypto is insane right now. I'm trying to get into it, but thank you, chat. Thank you, Sandy.
All right. See you next week. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.